Janet can't handle her Margies. Kristen's getting engaged. And turns out there is a God because Jax is not on this trip to Hawaii. Welcome to Showmance, everyone, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Super shallow shows, but not as shallow as the effort that I put into this bit this week. I'm not doing it. Pass.
Oh my God.
Next time, listen, I am not prepared at all for today. It was either push it off or just do it and don't let it bleed into next week.
Yeah, that would only stress you out.
Yeah, exactly. It would just make it where next week's stuff would be eaten up by trying to get this week's together. And by the time we even got it out, it would be late and probably like the day of the next episode.
So you know what? We let it go, ho.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's bigger news on this week's episode of Showmance. Mike's back. Sorry about Mark being here last week. That guy snuck in, got my emails, and I didn't know we were filming, and he stepped in for me and threw a little temper tantrum, son of a bitch.
That was Mark?
That was Mark last
week. You guys
are... I'm fun as hell. I'm the fun guy, always fun, good takes. Well, Mark is
a sexual deviant, let me tell you.
And you guys are identical. Joe Schmo, if you know what movie that's from.
Yeah, so Mark, fuck yourself. You're not invited back anymore.
Fantastic lover.
Yeah. He can come back after dark.
No, he can't. No, he can't. He can't come back ever.
Yeah.
Look
back in
what
action.
You're doing to Chandler, okay?
Yeah. No, I'm not. Chandler's not letting these fuckers do that shit anymore.
Well, at the risk of risking Natalie and I's life, shall we jump into the valley?
Okay.
Here goes. Top of the pops.
Listen, the first 6 minutes were pretty good. The good old-fashioned happy times.
Of the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Another thing that like makes me like more comfortable that like I just don't have a ton to offer today is that I feel like this was almost like not a lot of new things happened. I'm mad at the same people I was mad at before.
Same.
Everyone's acting a fool in continuation.
Yep.
As opposed to the dinner table from last time. There's the therapy session from this time where I'm just like, what is happening? So I feel like I could just pull up my notes from last week and give my same takes and they would almost be the same. So just that's how this is.
It'd be fun if we just put up last week's Showmance episode and see if anybody even noticed.
I think they will because that's when you stormed out. Or that's when Mark stormed out.
They'll be like, dang, 2 weeks in a row, this guy's what a baby.
No, and also I don't want to discourage people engaging and viewing, but we got on the storm out, we got more views and more engagement than we ever have. So please do not encourage this bad behavior too much.
But by the way, this is why Jax has a TV show.
Because
my God, is riveting.
Dude. If we'd have got to 10K views, I'd have kicked something over next time. A few more curse words.
Also, Meteor sidebarred me and said, interesting choice not to cut around that, but okay.
My thoughts exactly.
It's like, you know what? If you get nothing from this show, you're getting realness. Like you're seeing it all.
How did you not tell that to me? That's hilarious.
Listen, all this happened during the week that I had to drive 500,000 miles and a 2-day turnaround for a funeral, come back, get here with you. Thank you so much.
You're the passenger princess.
I had to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody. Does anybody want to be the passenger in the fucking anger management?
Yeah. Remember that story that Mark's told 100 times? It's not everyone else. It's you.
This time it was everyone else. This time it was everyone on the valley. Fair. That's fair. Wasn't me.
So now you're channeling Jax and Charlie. Fair.
Anyway, I think that's hilarious. And I actually do appreciate, even though it's so hard for me to watch it, and normally like as soon as you post, I'm watching.
Yeah.
But it took me like 2 days to get through that episode because I was just like, oh God, I don't want to relive it. I don't want to relive it. I like that you keep it in because I think it does show that we are completely fucking transparent.
Do not like each other.
Yeah. No, I think it's like, I don't know what this says about us, good or bad, but like you could look at it and be like, you're taking this show that seriously? That's ridiculous. Or you could look at it as like, what other show gets this ridiculous about, like, not ridiculous, but is so involved in in the material, is so affected by it, is so like there's no other reason that we're doing this show. But like I said, we've been having these same conversations for 10 years. We just turned a
not
camera
longer.
on about a year ago to
Yeah.
start doing this show.
Yeah.
So that's all that's
I
changed.
think
Mike stormed out like 50,000 times
Yeah,
that
you
you
guys
guys
think
have
that?
never
So that's the
seen.
first time I've done it in front of you. I finally feel comfortable in front of you all enough to throw my temper tantrums and not feel ashamed.
Yeah.
Maybe a little
Interesting
tiny
choice to keep it
ashamed.
in.
Yeah, interesting choice to not cut around that, but okay. And then the other thing is that, you know, Mike has actually, like, we've had to Mike used to hate Craig so much on Southern Charm that we had to turn off the television. Like, we had to stop watching it. Like, we were trying to get through some previous seasons, so we were binging it. So we had to like shut down for 3 days. And then I would just kind of turn it on in the background, like non-committal. We're just gonna put it on while you're cooking in there. I'll just have it on, and like so it wasn't like we had to like ease our way back into it. But Mike gets highly affected by big jerk offs.
Well, it's not so much jerk offs, and I had a lot of fun in the comments this week talking to everybody.
You really did.
Yeah, it was
I
a
enjoyed
good
it.
time. Yeah, it was. And listen, we had more comments than we've ever had on the
You know,
video
it's
too.
like
So
400 comments.
yeah, dude, there was a lot, and it was fun. And there was a couple people that voiced their opinion. Fucking great. That's what we're all here for. Not too many people that were mean about it, which is also super amazing. And it was fun. It was fun to chat it out and kind of talk about like, yeah, why? I think it's closer to the first one. Like, bro, you take this shit a little too serious. Yeah, probably. But I think what it is for me, I hate stupid. Like when I sense stupid coming on, and this is a thing I should probably work on and I think about all the time. When I sense stupid coming on, then I will admit I tend to get mean. Like that, my reaction is I'm not going to be
Describe
nice.
it. Like, have we ever seen you act that way?
No, I hold it in always.
So you're calling
always.
us stupid.
Yeah. No, not you guys. The show, like, I think the Valley delivers stupid, and then when we start to get in depth on, and I get that's what we do, deep dives on shows, but like, that I start to, like, it becomes not like most of the time it's fun. Like we do deep dives on shows with no depths. It's kind of a joke, but also sometimes these shows have some depth and like are relatable to our real lives, which we've also talked about with everyone here. But this show is just so stupid and dumb, and I feel like it's fake, which makes it more stupid, and super uber produced, which makes that just like, it's just spoonfulling stupid in my mouth, and so that makes me mad. And then I notice like the thing I got on the Jesse and Michelle thing was like, oh, I just want to get off Jack, so I'm going to ask about who believes the Jesse story, and then I was like,
Out of
Jesse's
the fryer
a-
and into the pan.
Exactly, totally. And I'm like, this is not. And so like, the more we went down the road, then I was like, well, God, are we stupid? Because we're just talking about these fucking and then I was like, you can feed me stupid for a long time. Once I feel stupid, that's when you see that's when
That's when
shit-
Mark shows
that's when Mark shows up. And Mark will show up real fast because I hate feeling dumb. I hate it, and I'm pretty dumb. I don't enjoy it though. So yeah, I hate it when I feel like I'm getting bamboozled, and I feel like that maybe is what happened.
Well, I will say I have from jumps when we do the intros, I say the only show on the internet doing deep
Yeah.
dives on shows with no depth. And I remember Mark one time said, are we really the only show doing this? And I'm like, no, we are.
It might be.
We might be. And I think that everything that you were talking about like how we get so
Yeah.
just in the weeds with it in a way that I personally like. It's like deep and shallow, you
Yeah.
know? I do think we are the only show doing it. And I think that everyone that watches us has that experience
Yeah.
of, holy shit, I love this because I have these thoughts. And one person said, none of my friends watch reality TV, but like I come here and I get to scratch that itch. So
Yeah.
I think it's just proving the point that we are the only show doing deep
Yeah.
dives on shows with no doubt.
The only
With
show on the internet doing storm outs.
That's for
That's
sure.
I hands down. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to
we-
add that
we
to the
can.
intro.
Yeah.
Dude, I wonder if I'll start a trend.
You know.
If people
It's
start
not.
like storming
No, it's
out
not.
and being like, oh, that guy got like 5,000
No, I
views.
think you've just opened the door though. Like we can all storm out if we want, and so I might do that. But you know what I think?
I won't. I'm not going
I
to.
know.
I'm a people pleaser. I don't like
Did you turn-
confrontation.
did
If
you
you
turn
noticed,
that
I
on?
said nothing.
You saying that you will get triggered by stupidity and then that's when Mark comes. I'm realizing that I
Now
get
I appreciate you giving me Mark. Look, oh, so much. That guy's going to get me out of so much trouble. Dude, from now on, I'm be like, baby, that wasn't me. That was Mark.
Oh my God. I was thinking when I was reading the comments and people were screaming like, Mark, come back.
Yeah.
We heart Mark. I was like,
Dude.
I would have never thought when we were driving to Palm Springs that
ever.
auspicious evening
Yeah.
in November that Mark would have become such a
Such
Yeah.
a legend.
yeah.
Such an internet legend. Fucking Mark.
What were you saying though, honey?
it's just that like if that's what you do when that happens. I didn't realize this in the moment, but in retrospect, when I start like getting that same thing where it's like, oh, now you're insulting me. Now I feel stupid that I've come along this far. That's when I start accusing Shep of producing an entire season off of a love story that like was fake, that like never really happened. So I think that we all probably just have our own. I don't know what yours is yet, but I'm sure there's one.
I don't think I will have it because I'm a believer. Like I come, I believe, I don't want confrontation. So one of my friends was watching the show and they were like, has anyone in the comments commented on the fact that when Mark stormed out, all you did was give the mic a hand job? I was like,
Wait, what?
nope, but that tracks. Apparently I just kept going like this the whole
That's
time.
hilarious. I didn't read that one. That's funny.
I get uncomfortable.
that
and
one
just
probably
try-
got in the held
That's
section.
that's like Huda when she starts feeling people pulling back. She starts getting all like sexual. She like really tries to go in for like, oh God, try not to get a boner.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, well, I feel like we've aired it out. We can jump into the app.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Okay. So we start this episode with Luke and Kristen in their house having a little lunch.
These motherfuckers.
Oh my God! I
That's
almost started
just
twitching.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah. Seriously, in this restaurant?
In this economy.
Kidding.
Oh man, I don't know if this will make it in, but one of my personal best times in my entire life was when Nat and I were at Cinespia and we were Stony Baloney, had some cockies, and they're playing
Some what?
cocktails.
Oh, okay.
And they were playing, it was 4th of July, they were playing Footloose. And there's a scene in Footloose where one of the girls gets backhanded by her dad, and it's literally dead silent at, pun intended. We are in their house.
Do we want to send our announcement?
What's our announcement?
We're going to see Top Gun next Friday.
Wait, you bought tickets?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
My God,
We're going to see a movie with dead people.
Woo!
I see dead people.
Pat Clark
At the
said
movies. Yeah, Pat
also
Clark.
that's what, oh my God, do you know that
No.
he's been putting it off this whole time? I bet you anything he literally bought them today because you came across Pat Clark saying
You
that
don't
she would go
know.
party in the cemetery.
don't know
I
what
do
happened.
know. I fucking do know.
You don't know.
Pat, thank you.
Yeah, no, you get one lady out here who likes golf and bad TV, and now you've got him hook, line, and
Changed
sinker.
man.
Yeah,
A changed man.
I'm gonna start
look at
floating
that.
her things.
You should.
No, it was a team effort. Carly, Christina, Harris, Pat. There was a couple others that were like they hadn't been, but they were like, sounds cool.
Cubby.
Cubby,
Yep.
yeah. So
Joe Schmo.
yeah, team effort.
Yeah.
We're going to see
Thanks,
Top
guys.
Gun
Yeah.
next Friday, 4th of July.
Oh, we have
with
to take a
fireworks.
picture and post it as
Yeah.
proof of
yeah.
life.
Oh yeah.
We'll report. I told
I'll
Carly.
be taking many pictures regardless.
Oh my God, guys, we need to really plan well with snacks and other snacks, edibles and things of such. And we have to get there early, and I got lots of blankets because you can't ever sit on wet grass. Then you got a wet ass the entire time you're watching the movie. So you really got to prepare.
That's the moisture of the ghosts, the
Yeah.
dead ghosts. Anyways.
Okay, so all right, so we're at their house. I am really rooting for these two fools.
Yeah.
I love them. Kristen has done such a 180, and I noticed in this scene, Luke is just enough younger than dudes like Jax and Jesse that you can tell different shit got into his brain.
Yeah.
When he's sitting there saying, I want to make sure, like, what else can I do to support you? Oh, you're ovulating right now or whatever. That means you're in this cycle. Like, you can tell, not only did he go to the doctor's appointment, and no offense to men of your generation. But I feel like a lot of dudes your age and older, it's like they go to the doctor's appointment, but they're not listening the entire time they're there. They're a wee bit checked out. Luke goes and listens and like takes notes probably. And I just thought it was really sweet that you could tell he's.
I think that certain guy, like I always say that people find each other, like if you're really lacking something, you'll think it's like the saying opposites attract is obviously like so old and like duh. But I really think people they get in where they fit in, so, and I've noticed lately, as different as Kristen and I are, I think we have a lot of similarities actually, where we're just kind of like all over the place and like, but good people. But I think that I'm sure she's listening to her own doctor, but I think that she's so kind of flighty sometimes that I think that he knows I have to listen, because Mike is of that generation that wouldn't, but Mike is always listening to things that he knows I should be, but I'm probably not, just not because I'm actively trying not to, but just because like my brain's just going 100 miles an hour. That's probably a low miles per hour, but I think that some guys like that pick up, because him and Luke have a lot of similarities too. I've just noticed. And another thing that she said when she's like, he's always talking about, well, next year, then we'll be doing this or then we'll be there. And she's like, sometimes I just wish that he could just be like, oh, live here in the now. And that has been one of my biggest things with Mike, our entire relationship, is that Mike hates LA, like talk shit about it all the time, like does not, like never wanted to live here, like never wanted to have a life here, wanted to make a lot of money here to go do what he wanted to elsewhere. Like
dude,
you were never proud of.
Listen, I'm not a, and I was just going to say this about
Where's
Luke
my blood thing?
I always wanted to work in entertainment. Like there's nothing else that I could do. That was it, like that from the time I was super little. But I do remember coming to LA when I was like 18 with a friend of mine and going to Hollywood, like Hollywood and Highland. If you've ever been there, you'll know it's like the grossest place ever and has been for 30 years. Yeah, ever, basically. So like that's where we went and we spent the weekend, and I was like, oh, this is the worst place ever. Like, granted, I didn't grow up with any money. Somebody who's like TJ on Love Island is like a total yacht kid with a like rich dad, right? And I was like, dude, I grew up in Newport Beach, so I know a lot of these TJs. Unfortunately, I didn't have a dad when I was young or a yacht, so I didn't get those benefits. But like, why do I ramble on and forget what we're talking about so much?
This is you're spending too much time with me. I think you hit the mark where you've sponged that for me.
Yeah, you're a bad influence on me.
You were talking about the fact that Nat said you never wanted to live in LA, but you were like, but I always wanted to work in entertainment.
Yeah, so I came
here. By the way,
when
when I go, you're both fucked. When my brain doesn't work anymore.
No, that's a wrap on the show. Like we recast at that point and hope for the best. It's a VPR recast in season 12. It'll be Nettie, fucking Truth for Peace,
Harris,
yeah. We'll do a rotating panel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I came here and I was like, well, gosh, this place sucks. I don't ever want to live here. How am I going to work in entertainment? Like blah, blah, blah. So I've been here for a gazillion years. So like, this is, I don't know where else is home. Like I don't equate Orange County as my home anymore. Like I lived in San Diego for a long time. I love San Diego, but like, I don't know. I remember going out of town for work once and flying back into LA and having that like, when you fly into LAX and being like, oh, damn it, dude. Like, cause that was the realization that like, oh, this place might be your home, whether you like it or not. Listen, I don't want to live here for the rest of my life, but why are we talking about LA?
Visit Natalie and I.
No, I was just saying.
Oh, that I'm like,
I'm going to be doing that a lot because I'm lacking other material, like the hard facts. So I'm going to be like, once upon a time.
With that being said, though, I do think a lot of, and not to shit on LA, but a lot of why Luke is the way he is because he grew up in Colorado, or probably like a small town, or lives in Colorado, and it was just there's just different needs, and especially doing his life of like homesteading or whatever the hell. Like It's a different life out here. we want different things.
This is true. I just thought it was such an interesting, stark contrast.
Yeah.
If you look at that generation that's just a little bit older than him, which is Jesse and Jax.
Yeah.
And then how he acts as a partner, which obviously he's also not a narcissistic manipulator, terrible
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
But even that set aside, like,
Yeah.
I'm into it. I love Luke now. I never
No,
thought I
I
would
do
get to this
too.
place,
I do
but
too.
I did. Okay, next scene is it's not a throwaway scene, but it's a setup scene. Just Zach, Benji, Nia, and Danny basically saying like, okay, we're gonna get this trip together. We all know what's happening, but we can't let Kristen know. I did pick up on what you said last week when you said that you think the biggest change, the reason we're seeing this big change in Zach is because of Benji. And I really think that's true. When you see them together in
Yeah.
this scene, like,
You say that after I left?
yeah,
Maybe.
I think so.
I'm like, I don't remember.
Is it going to
that.
be BS or AS before storm, after storm?
Actually, it's BM or AM
Yeah.
before
BM.
Mark.
Yeah. But BM is like a.
Well, it was shitty behavior, so I think that verdict stands.
Moving on. Yeah.
But no, I feel like that is the reason that we're seeing such a glow up with him. And
Yeah.
just good love
Yeah.
really makes you a better
wonder-
person.
Yeah, I
Or Ken.
wonder. With that being said, like, because in his confessional later on, he was like, "Hello, bitch, I said that shit." So he's pretty proud of like dropping the whatever that girl Jenna who banged Aaron news. But I wonder if he'll be less messy. I wonder if he'll kind of like, because Benji kind of seems, and we haven't seen a ton of him, but he does seem like I'll be on the show, but I'm not fucking around.
No,
Like, I'm
no,
not doing
totally.
stupid shit, you know. So I wonder if Luke or if Zach will be like, oh, does that mean I can't do stupid shit?
You know what it is? I don't know. Yes, I think maybe his messiness will be more well played.
Yeah.
And I think that the biggest thing that Benji has done for Zach's energy is he's made him less frenetic in the sense of like needing the attention and feeling so vulnerable
Yeah.
because now he's got a partner.
Yeah.
Like I remember I dated this guy and it was super serious, and he said he got so much better at his job
Yeah.
when we started dating, and he was like, it's because this huge part of my brain that was always like searching for that safety and companionship
Yeah.
and all of that stuff, it's now calm because we have this beautiful home life. Thanks for blowing it up. Just kidding. I don't give a shit. It was a million years ago.
She's fine.
I just always like to give a dig in there whenever
Yeah.
I can because you're
Yeah.
a schmuck. That like all of a sudden that now is calm and you can go out and like put all of your energy into being the best person you are at your job. And I feel like that's what Benji has done for Zach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
no, I think
gonna
so too.
I'm gonna say this was a comment that we got for Love Island, but I have a feeling I'm probably gonna use it for the rest of my life. Because it pertains to so much, and it was one of those comments that you get where you're like, it's like somebody said something, you're like, I'd never heard that, and it just resonated and stuck and like bounced around my head, still bouncing around. It was Jen O'Toole who said, and essentially, someone will seem needy until their needs are met. Right? I was like, oh, banging that.
Hey, Jen
Dude,
O'Toole
It
for
was
the win.
so good. Someone will seem needy until their needs are met.
This is really tracks because it would be someone like Jen O'Toole to come up with something like that because she's also welcome to Party of Schwartz this week. These things go hand in hand. You know, you don't get one without the other.
Yeah.
Jen-
Big picture.
Yeah.
God,
yeah,
I
it
love that.
was-
Were they
it's-
talking about Amaya?
Yeah, 100%.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and JD and that she was like, look at the conversation he had with her, like perfect proof. And then she made a really great comment, which I'll read on the Love Island. But she ended it with, someone will seem needy until their needs are met, and it just boosh. I was like, holy crap. Because also she was saying, and I think it was me that said it, she was like, you shouldn't say that Amaya's too much. Like she's a lot, but she's not too much. And I was like, that's
I
touche.
do like that she said that because
Yeah.
someone may or may not have said that I'm too much. Someone's multiple people may have said this, and it's like, well, listen, take the hair, take a hike. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yeah.
take all of me or take none of me.
Yeah.
And because you can't change who you can better yourself, but you can't change who you are.
Yeah, no, 100%. So yeah, I thought that would, so like it kind of tracks to,
Yeah.
these two and Kristen, like Kristen's, little needy, crazy. I call it what you want. Use whatever adjective you like. But she seems pretty chill. Her needs seem to have been met for the time being.
When someone says too much, just a hot tip, like unless you are a literal like near perfect specimen, I will always think I like that will read to me as you just don't have enough to reciprocate. Like that you're not working with enough to feel up to the job, up to the task.
Yeah.
If like you probably see it as a task as opposed to more of like a challenge accepted,
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're going to say it, you better be near perfect because
what?
otherwise I just think you're a total idiot.
No, that's a good point. That
disagree.
sentence, if you're going to say it, it should always end with "for me." Because
Yeah.
the problem is you, not them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, just say "for me," and it's like, okay, moving on then. Yeah.
Like, oh, so sorry, this person wants to like make breakfast with you and then go
Yeah.
grocery shopping and like fill the house with great food and then like maybe have
Yes.
dinner with like your mom because you guys haven't seen her in a while. Like
Yeah, just suggesting all of like
for Mike, that's too much for
me.
Mike and Mark and Matt, all three of his
I like
personalities.
golf.
And that is too much for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anyone really have anything to add to that breakfast scene?
Just one little stupid thing, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. I do think I had a lot of realizations this week in the old on the old chat section or the comment section.
A week of growth for us here.
It was
at
a big week of
Showmance.
growth. Yeah, thank you, Maximum Dole. Thank you, many people. But I do think that my thing with Danny and Nia has more to do now with like, don't hang out with the bad kids or people are going to assume you're a bad kid. Right? Like, I don't have any reason to think they're bad kids other than the fact that they keep hanging out with the bad, and I get it's their job and whatever. But somebody else in the comments was like, dude, they could kill getting like kind of churchy or like good, like clean living, baby brands. Like they could murder the like that space with brand deals and shows and like they could do probably a lot better than the show. I don't know. But anyways, point being, I think that's where I was like, yeah, Jen, you might be a fucking drunk and she's hiding it. Like, I think I just got caught up in you guys are hanging out with the bad kids so you must be bad kids. I can't figure out why, but I think you are. So I might be off their little wagon for a little bit. That being said, I did not peg Danny for a dude that would order before his wife.
Interesting.
Which is so silly, but just one thing that I was like, that's weird.
I bet he lets her walk on the outside of the street too, like this closest to the curb.
No way.
I feel like no, if he doesn't know that, then he might just not know those little.
What if she wasn't
things.
ready and he knew?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'll give you
this is a
that.
good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'm like, just come back to me.
This
I
is
don't know
true.
yet.
This is true. You always want to go last.
Yeah.
Did you not think it was funny when Danny's like, okay, I'll text these people. Nia's like, I'll text these people. And Nia
And then
goes,
he
you just texted
Dude,
me.
That's funny.
That gave me a little
Yeah.
giggle.
I still stand firm in that, like, you could be totally right that, like, they could kill that space.
Like and subscribe. That's our show.
I guess the women will just be silenced here.
Whatever.
I
I could be totally right.
You could be. You could be totally right that they could kill in that other space. I would venture to say that they are not feeling confident that they have gotten out there and been a presence on television for long enough to secure those kinds of
I agree.
deals. And if they did feel that confidence, I have a feeling if not Danny, Nia for sure would be like, let's go now. But I think that there's just too much at stake with the kid, with the new house, with the new the new level of celebrity that has come in such a quick amount of time when all those years didn't bring that. I'm sure that they want to do everything right before they say we are good to leave this and move on to the level that we should be doing and should pursue.
Yeah, listen, I don't know anything. Like, I have no idea what's going on in their lives. So no place to demand or say, you guys should quit your jobs. that being said,
this week.
yeah, you guys should quit your jobs. And that wasn't my idea. The like, I don't know what's like. I keep wanting to say sober living is not like a Christian or like, whatever. Just like more, that kind of lifestyle. It was somebody in the comments. I wish I could remember.
Yeah.
But like, it was their idea, and I just I was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I think that Nia's TikTok this week, I just noticed that the ones that I did come across are Nia like coming out of Target, getting into her car and like shoving, like finding a stack of Taco Bell napkins in her car and shoving them down, and she's like, cool, I was just in Target, I'm leaking everywhere. Like, has it anyone else out? This happened to anyone else? Like, so I think that she is trying to pursue the more like the mom, the family,
which is authentic to her
no,
life. She's four freaking
it totally
kids.
is. And she was a mess. Like, she didn't have any makeup on. Her hair would like look like mine, but mine looks like this because it's all broken off from bleach. It's just so like, that's what all these are. Her hair's not like that. She's got beauty queen hair, and it was still looking like this. So like, I think that she is trying to probably put that out there to the universe, that is probably the place that she would like to pursue. So I think it's an active pursuit. So we'll see how long it takes to just do that solely.
Fingers crossed for you guys. I hope it. I would be super pumped if they were like, yeah, we're out. Fuck this show.
Yeah, no,
I just want them to win before they however it happens. If it happens, they leave and they get notoriety for that, because they just seem like a nice couple in a world of shithead people.
Yeah.
They just seem like a nice couple trying to do their best and being as honest as like they're comfortable with on this show.
Yeah.
And I just like them for whatever reason.
I love them so much.
Yeah. Okay. This next scene is a real quagmire for me. It's the men's group.
Yeah.
One, it was brutal to sit through. And I'm your audience for this stuff, because I love talking about emotions, feeling emotions, talking about feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
Like, I am the target demographic for this. But it was too produced. It was too staged. I don't believe anyone. And it's so interesting, because I really liked the life coach Scott the first season. I thought he was giving them really good advice when they were meeting as a couple, Jesse and Michelle, with that guy Scott. But it reminds me of why I do so much research before I buy something or see a certain doctor or go to a certain like masseuse, because someone could come off really great, and then you've bought a package of 8 sessions with them, and you're just like, wow, you're not for me.
You blew your whole load the first session, and then the next 7 were like, great, I think I'm dumber.
And look, this guy could be amazing. He might just be getting a bad edit, or the show's asking him to do cringy shit and he's going along with it. But I'm kind of out on him, and I was really here for him the first season. I thought he was giving excellent advice to them. And this season, I'm like, why are you at the party? What are you telling him to scream into a pillow for? Also, Jax, do you not know where someone's chest is?
Yeah.
Like, he put the hand on someone's shoulder. The whole thing was such BS. And so if you want, as someone who is a practitioner of these things, and I've had to go into corporate environments and teach meditation, mindfulness, talk about Reiki, all the stuff that can seem really outside of the average bear's wheelhouse, I get that you have to find like a common through line so that everyone can relate to it, because you've got people coming from all walks of life. But he's just missing the mark for me personally.
Yeah, you're talking about real people. Like, you're a real person that does that. You're not a fucking snake oil salesman who's trying to jerk off in Jax's fucking bank account. Like, and I don't even, like, there was 2 or 3 scenes with this dude the first season. Like, and I admit, like, there was a couple of times where I was like, okay, yeah, no, that seems like logical therapy advice.
Yeah.
Nothing I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, not where someone will seem needy until their needs are met. Like,
no
that's
Jen
a fucking
O'Toole.
mind blower. Yeah, these guys know Jen O'Toole.
Do these guys know Maximum Dull?
Yeah, there's no Maximum Dull. You're no Joe Schmo. Get the fuck out of here, guy. But the like, that guy screams. Taking like meal ticket to me. Like, just all he has meal ticket written all over him. I mean, like, technically Jackson the rep, but like, this guy's, that's why he was at the party, because Jax went to the party. Like, I don't know if I said it last time, but I was going to. That was the thing I wrote something to. I'm like, dang, I'm really starting to regret storming out. I did have a lot of cool stuff to say. One of them was, did you see the look on his face when Jax walked in? Like he was at that counter and like it looked like Tom
He was
Cruise
dying to get
just
a
walked in.
minute
Like,
with him.
yeah, dude, he was salivating. Like that guy's gross. And I'm sorry if you're not gross. I'm sorry if you're really good and have a lot, but like you're giving gross and it doesn't seem it seems gross. I don't know. I can't even think of another word for it. And
No,
like
I'm
that
with you.
whole thing was bullshit. It just was bullshit. That whole circle jerk was bullshit.
It always rubs me the wrong way when, like, listen, I get we evolve, figure out, there's that term uncoupling now, right? Which, I think
Yeah.
can be an annoying term, but it is a great way to put when two people
Yeah.
aren't together anymore, but they don't hate each other. It's not, we're
Yeah.
just not a couple, but the best parts of us still exist. Whatever. But when he was like, this is called a list. And the only way to get release a list
Clear your list.
clear your list.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm like, what
Shut
in
the
Sam
fuck
hell are you
up, dude.
talking about with this gobbledygook? This is a list. This is how you clear your list. Like, what? None of this makes sense. And I am in this world. You're like, again, you have lost me completely.
You know that there's an old, I don't know what it's from. I'm sure it's from something. Joe Schmo, you'll probably know. But like why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like your brother? That whole like, why can't you be more like? Now that we're watching Next Gen and Love Island, like watching more of these 20-year-olds whose parents chucked them in therapy when they were like 12 years old because they mouthed off or didn't like a whatever. But now it's like they're so sophisticated and so good at communicating. I'm watching this little, I'm going to keep referring it to a circle jerk because that's all I could think of it. Is like, why can't you guys be more like these next gen kids?
Yes.
Why can't you be more like your kids? Like you guys suck at this. You're so bad at talking. What's the matter?
I
You
just
loved
have
it?
like
You thought it was great?
No. But like just because this is not a dude that I'm like standing up for, like, but I just, as I am looking at the way that I talk about Danny and like where he's come from and like why he might have taken an opportunity like this and all the things. If this guy, I haven't heard anything bad about, like, I'm not reading things bad. Nobody's popping into TikTok and being like, I actually know a guy who used to go to him. And like, I haven't heard any like horror stories, and maybe they're out there and they just haven't come through my timeline yet. My phone listens to everything I say, so I'm sure it'll be the first thing I see. And I'll regret this entire thing that I'll do right now. But he could be like, just consider that he was we all liked him first season, thought he had stuff to offer. He was brought in a more, looks like a more official way this year, like more kind of friend of vibe or consultant vibe or whatever it is, but was given an opportunity to come on. I haven't been super turned off aside from just the fact that he's Jesse's guy. Like that just leaves like a bad taste in my mouth. If like Jesse's the one that's constantly bringing you back on, I don't trust Jesse as far as I can throw him. So like, but if you think about, okay, so Jax has just come out of this thing. He's is it a rehab? Is it a mental health facility? Was he there for booze? Was he there because he's bipolar? Like I don't know like what his like what kind of course they put him on while he was there.
He put him on he was on the reality programming storyline course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
That's
yes.
what he did. That's a program he was in.
So like if
And a
this guy
Z-Pack.
was given a shot to have a platform to push his business, show people this is what he does, and just say that all we know of him, we liked him before, and now not so much, but if he's given this opportunity and he's just trying to do the best he can at it and make sure to seize the moment in it, if I'm that guy and I'm a good guy, if I am, and I'm like, okay, Jax just came out of this thing. It's not a 12-step program, but it is something. He's got a lot of rights to wrong. What is something in this space that's like, not saying like you have to go apologize, like make amends, not make amends, but you got to start somewhere. You got to start saying like, here's the thing that I'm pissed about, or here's the thing that I did, or here's the thing, whatever. And I'm wondering if he just gave Jax a space to which I think Jax hijacked the whole thing. I wish it would have been much better for me if Jax hadn't been there and we saw the other guys' issues. But then again, it wouldn't have been because everyone's still blaming Danny for everything and still not taking any. So it was like the dinner table part due in a
exactly,
snake oil medical.
Meds crew.
It had nothing to do with Jax or Jesse or Luke or any. It had to do. It was an intervention. They were like, dude, let's stage a secret intervention for Danny, right? Like what should have happened, and I get we're filming a TV show, but what should have happened is that dude should have called Jax and been like, hey man, let's go grab lunch or a session or let me come to your house without the cameras. Let's do 6 fucking things off camera.
Sure.
And then we can start doing stuff like.
Listen, but who's dealing with Jax without if narcissists can't be cured, and I don't know. All I'm saying is that I'm just not throwing this guy in the trash quite yet because I just don't have I'm not a huge fan, but I'm just putting myself in the position of here I am. They hired me for this day. Here's the circle. This dude just came out of rehab, and it wasn't a 12-step thing, but he does need to make amends. But what can I put together that will allow him to say, just start that kind of process. I just think it could have been like a good college try, no cigar, because Jax is a waste of space. And he should have said to Jax, let's do something on sidebarred and because this other thing just seemed like it was for something else. But I also am still staunchly opposed to that. While I think that Danny could re-examine why he drinks the way that he does, I don't think he has a huge enough problem that anyone needs an intervention, certainly not from these schmoes. No offense against Joe Schmo. But there's other circle of jerks you got,
I don't, and that's it. Is there rules on who should be giving interventions? There probably
there definitely are. There are interventionists. There are professionals that you hire to do an intervention with someone. You don't just do it.
Yeah. But it's if you're a bunch of degenerates, but one of the degenerates is no, we're just having fun. This guy's got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Can the rest of the degenerates who are just having fun be and hire the person?
Oh yeah.
But all be a part.
Sure.
And be yeah, dude, but you're the most fucked up thing,
yeah.
Maybe you're right. And let's hope that you're right. I'm going to forever be on that no, you're all the bad kids, and anybody hanging out with you is a bad kid. You're guilty until proven innocent in my book, right?
But even just watching these dudes make him apologize, and then they just are and
I'm
I know
that
they're not.
Guy. I'm talking about the
okay,
guy, not Danny.
Okay.
But in my, I think I'm now in that mode of anybody that's coming on to help out or continue a friendship or hang out with these people. You're unfortunately now you've cried wolf, and you haven't even cried wolf. The literal wolves are there all the fucking time, and I'm not going. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with those wolves. They bite.
I don't think this guy's a bad dude, a degenerate out to just punk people, take their money and not whatever. I guess turn off with it all is, like I said, being in this world. I'm not vibing with the modalities in which he's using to try and help people. I'm not jibing with it, if that makes sense. The list and the clearing and the chest and all that stuff. To me, I just feel like it's not something I take to. With that being said, there was this girl, Casey, who was on Vanderpump Rules, who worked with Jax. She was doing Reiki with him. And I know that people could be looking at Reiki being what in Sam hell are you doing? It's amazing. If you ever get a chance to have a practitioner work on you, I highly recommend it. Just go in with an open mind. And that seems even wackier than what this guy's doing with the lists and the touching of the chest. But she came off so authentic, and to me at least.
Yeah.
And I think she did something that could really be perceived on national television as kookadoodle-doo and why are you even here with Jax and all this stuff. But I think she's a perfect example of okay, you're going into this world that seemingly stands diametrically opposed to everything that you do, what you've built your life's work on, and she nailed it. And I feel for whatever reason, this guy, again, don't think he's a bad guy. I just am scream into a pillow.
Yeah.
That's
no, totally ridiculous.
That's the Deepak Chopra training you've received. The other thing that really irritated me about the scene that you were kind of just touching on is Danny did uh what's the word? Not open up. Like when he admitted to like sometimes he'll go to the bar and get like a drink and 2 shots, take the shots, and then go over with the 1 drink because he just doesn't want like the
smoke.
hassle.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought that was
What?
I just what?
The smoke.
Like the
Isn't
heat
Isn't that
from it.
isn't that what people say?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the,
Not
isn't that what
old,
the kids say?
not old people.
Oh, I don't
I'm
know. I
kidding.
just,
You said-
God, you immerse yourself in these shows and like, I'm
Listen,
going to
I'm
start saying
feeling-
off the rip.
Dude, I
Like,
seriously.
if the first time I say that, just punch me.
No, I'm feeling cool as hell lately. But we can't say Riz apparently.
What?
That's-
No,
yeah.
Meteor likes it.
No, he likes it, but according to his kids, we can't say it, and they're
Oh.
not wrong.
Well-
like it's a little.
Oh my
bit
God, I
funny.
used it
No,
just
as you
last
should.
night in a
But
text.
I
Cool.
also think that while I think that it's like I love like Riz is fine. I think that charisma is way cooler, and you think that charisma is like the dumbest word that ever happened. I never had an issue with charisma. I thought it was a great, not only a great way to describe someone. I would fucking love it if someone said she's got charisma.
Me too.
I would be like,
She's
"Thank
full of
you."
moxie and charisma.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I am.
Exactly. Yeah. So
You
anyway.
know the word that I really can't stand, and I will never say it. I will never say it.
Bart.
Fit.
You
I
just
hate it.
said it.
No, you know what I mean. Like in
fit.
Yeah, like
Oh,
nice
like
fit,
instead of an
man.
outfit. Oh.
Like what's your fit for tonight?
Oh.
Like no, what are you wearing? I need a fit. We didn't need fit.
Well,
Anyway,
I've been thinking about turning this channel into a fit channel.
okay. So the thing is, he admits to this. I thought it was really great of him. Again, I think it speaks to like the authentic nature of who he is, which is why when Danny says, like, when someone starts to talk about my character, I do get very upset.
Yeah.
Not that he's a fucking perfect person, but because I do think out of anyone on this show, besides Nia, I think he puts the most time and energy into genuinely trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
A better husband, friend, dad, all of it. And so when he said that for Jason, God, so many J names on this show. Jesse, Jax, Jason. Like Jason didn't even say, I'm really proud of you for saying that. That's not an easy thing to admit to. And like, I think maybe that's just where our frustration stemmed from, because like, I do see you do that. And I know you're such a good guy. And one, I don't want you to feel like you have to hide anything. It was such an opportunity for Jesse to just say a million supportive friend things. And he could barely give him
You
his
mean
flower.
Jason?
Sorry, Jason. Sorry.
Okay.
It was just an opportunity for Jason to say a million supportive, good friend things. And he could like barely give him his flowers for
No, that's how
saying
you know.
it. And
This
it's
is
just
all
like,
so
Jason, you
fake.
suck.
That's right. Because A, it's fake. B, these people aren't friends. I was telling Natalie, I was like, so we've watched all these shows, reality shows forever, and stories forever. And like a happy story with a bunch of great people is fun. But then somebody added a bad guy and it made stories a little bit better, right? So like reality TV, you got to have a villain. You got to have you actually got to have a couple villains to play with each other, or you got to have one villain that's so bad that they're able to turn out the nice ones, right? Once in a while, so that everybody's fucking going crazy.
Yeah.
3 or 4 eps a season. But you got to have 1 or 2. These motherfuckers went into Bravo and they're like, all right, peep this. We got a new idea. We're going to flip everything on this head. We're going to go 10 villains, 2 nice people. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
And Bravo was like, fucking book it. Let's do this
No.
shit. That's what this show is.
No, you're
It's
right.
It's
I
a
just- I don't
test
like
of
it.
like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, no
was
one does.
real. When you said
Um,
that yesterday, I was like, that's so
Dude,
crazy.
it
that
is.
like, oh, let's do all villains and 1 good guy.
Yeah, and poor Danny and Mia might be like, and little Luke, he's like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, get the dude from Colorado. That guy's dumb as shit. He'll take him 3 seasons before he figures out what the fuck's
What's
going
going
on.
on?
Yeah, it's also, you remember that, was it Wayne's World or Wayne's World 2? I think it was, which when they go to Rob Lowe's house and his little book is open and is like, find local, find local
Cable access show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
find local cable access show talent, sign talent, and like whatever.
Destroy it.
No,
sell
like,
it for parts.
No, what was it? What's like when you take advantage of someone, or
Yeah.
dude, that's what Bravo's doing with
Yeah.
these freaking idiots.
Yeah. It's the playbook.
Yeah, the playbook. Yeah, totally. But yeah, I think that's what this show is. It's just let's try all evils and two nice people and see what happens.
It's not good. Bravo.
Yeah, we
let's
found out.
recalibrate.
Yeah,
Okay?
let's go back
Um,
to the old way.
After this, we get into the girls' night dinner, which is a hot mess. It just went from 0 to 60 so quickly.
Real sorry,
Yeah.
just to like, I just want to say something to Jax and to all the people who think casting directors don't do anything and don't have any talent. I don't know if people think that, but if you did think that,
I don't know if anyone said that, but if they have,
they're full of shit. Because Jax, the casting agents are good. They know
Yeah.
who can act. They know who's in the. This guy's the worst fucking actor on planet Earth, dude. You're so bad. I loved him doing this like, hold on. He jammed some fucking needles in my eye. He's like the dude from The Bachelorette that we were talking about, the Golden Bachelor who couldn't cry because he was a surgeon and he's like seen so many dead babies. Guy, he just doesn't have any more tears. And then seeing Danny in the background being like, fucking told you bitches this shit was hard. Nobody fucking believes me. Acting is hard. And there's fucking, this guy couldn't act his way. It was, all I kept thinking that whole time was not like, dude, this is bullshit. I can't believe you're fucking, it was just like, oh, you're really, really, really bad at acting.
Yeah.
Like you're not even a little bit good at acting.
I don't know if anyone read that Variety article. I put a bunch of articles up in this last episode, but like we didn't really dive into any of them. And I also have not read that entire article, just like pieces of it and like the headlines of it and whatever. But Danny is in there talking about how like Jax literally called him and was like, you're going down this season. You had way too good of a year last year. You had way too good of an edit and we're taking you down. And he like, so this is according to Danny, if that conversation,
That's a load of shit.
You think that's a load of shit?
No. I think I think it's true.
Yeah.
And it's like I see Danny's face so many times where he's just like,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's happening now?
That's
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get 7 fucking drinks while you idiots plan out this season.
Yeah.
So like I don't think that's, I think it's bullshit that is Jax being like, here's the plan.
And he called the others to and that's why when you see Jason at that last week,
such bullshit.
so obvious. That's why when you see Jason say at that last one, you know, you're just this and you're that and you're so in denial and like you really need to like just take a look in the mirror and blah blah blah. Jax, buddy, so great to have you back. Like that's why I said like this was an out of body experience. Like we're watching this scene, nothing is making sense, and it's like you can't even pull it off because like don't say those things back to back. Like acting's hard. Like you're all failing miserably at it, except for Danny, who's actually not even acting because in that moment he truly is just like, okay,
WTF.
God, please tell me this. 5 more minutes of this, you guys. Can we all just agree 5 more minutes of this?
Yeah.
And then we're done, right? Like that's how it all felt. And it carried over into this doctor session, this snake oil salesman session.
The snake oil intervention.
Yeah.
Also, these producers are so fucking shitty. They should all be fired. None of these people. I actually went and looked up who worked on that show to see if I knew anybody. I don't. They're so bad. Like you already have a season of like, it's probably not even arguably the most toxic season of TV ever produced, ever in the world, multiple times over, layers of toxicity. And like, cool, if that's the way you want to go this year, because everyone's talking about it and everyone's up and okay, fine, whatever, rating, you're not getting ratings, but like, I'll listen to that argument. But why are you trying to get more toxicity stories that aren't even real, like this Danny drinking thing? It's like not a real story. The takedown of Danny's not real. Everybody knows it's such shit. And you already have all this toxicity. Why are you searching for more? Like, why do we need, I don't understand why we're trying to find fake stories to add to the real stories that are happening. You want toxic, you got it. Go fucking follow.
Box checked. Move on. What else would we add
well
to the cart?
done. You guys did that job. We don't need more. Just follow the one you have. You guys hold up some fingers. The fucking 17 toxic storylines you already have.
When Danny says to Jason, I said some things about your wife. I feel horrible about it. Like, I do believe that he does feel horrible about calling any woman out of her name. Like, and he just called her a snake. It's not like he called her a bitch or something.
Yeah.
You know, he
But
called
he
her a
was
snake.
also not wrong.
But
Correct.
not only is he not wrong, but it was literally like seconds after she said that he sexually assaults women. Like, it wasn't just
Yeah.
the grab ass thing is one thing. And even that's annoying because it was this one thing that happened forever ago. They've talked about it ad nauseum, apologized ad nauseum. It seems to have been accepted. And it, like, Janet is the snake who cannot let it go and just is going to keep plopping it in everything. And I'm not saying that it was okay. I'm just saying, like, at what point do we all agree that it's like
Forgive the
time
guy.
to move on?
Yeah.
Or not even forgive him, but like, we've done what we've said what we've said, we've done what we've done. Like, there's nothing more, there's no more juice to squeeze out of this fucking thing. And so she's still bringing that up. And so for him to say, I'm sorry that I called her that, I truly feel horrible about it. I believe that he does feel horrible about it because I do believe that Jesse wants to never be the guy that says anything like that. And he's trying
Jenny,
to
you
always, what did I say?
Jesse.
Oh, Jesse's not trying to do anything good. I do believe that Danny is trying to be the guy that never says those things. I think he takes steps every day to not be that person
Yeah.
and acknowledges it and will and like the sincerity, unless he's just a really good actor. I believed his sincerity when he was like, I'm so sorry. I regret that so much. I wish I would have never, like, I had no business bringing any of that up. Like, I believed him. And for Jason to not say, and again, I know that the whole idea of that whole thing was the person receiving it is not supposed to respond. But for him not to then did he do a turnaround and do one to Danny? What did he say to Danny?
He just said he feels like he either said he feels like he appreciates that Danny said that or something, but that he wasn't ready to like heal yet. Basically, he just wasn't in the place to like go full on. But he was like, I appreciate that, but I'm not quite there yet.
So what is funny about this is that Danny, this whole thing was supposed to be, because Jesse started it off, and Jesse says, and I almost think he was just reaching for something because he didn't, like, there was nothing current. The one he gave to Luke was
so ridiculous.
It was so ridiculous. It
2
was almost
years
like he was just
ago.
like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
I'll start it off. I don't really have anything, because he
You
does say
haven't
like, oh, thanks
apologized
for
to
putting
Luke for that yet?
right,
The
exactly.
fuck, dude.
But like, I do understand that the whole thing was supposed to be about, you saying something that was bothering you, and that like was something that they had done to you, or like that's the idea that I got.
Yeah.
That it was just supposed to be you getting it off your chest and then saying, I'm willing to let this go. Danny doesn't say what he's mad about. He doesn't even waste Jason. He wastes no one's time or anyone by saying what is upsetting to him, even though there's a fucking laundry list that this guy could be like, I feel like I don't know who my friends are. I feel like I can't win. I feel like I can't do anything right. And I want to let it go. And I'm going to try really, like, he could have said all that and we would have all been like, great. Like no notes like that. Like, you have every right to feel all those things. We all are feeling it for you. And for Jason to then turn around and give him his, which was that I'm not accepting your apology. Like, it wasn't even like I feel like you've done this a million. Like, I feel like it's all centered around nobody. It's like everyone has been instructed, do not accept Danny's apology, because Danny will be the first guy to apologize to you. He will lay it all out there. He will admit to everything he's done. Do not accept it. Do not drop it. Do not let it, like, it is so obvious that this is a thing that you've all decided. You've all banded together, gotten on a little FaceTime call
So ridiculous.
before. And like, I just like, oh my God, I just want the Bravo gods, if there is anybody that has a sense of like redemption or like justice served or whatever, if there's anybody on this team of people that makes decisions, I hope that they let these guys continue to drag themselves down this whole entire hole. And like, I hope they get rid of Janet. And I'm not a person that says get rid of villains. Like, I think that villains are necessary, but villains, like, I like smart villains.
Yeah, she's not a villain.
She's not a villain. She's just a fucking asshole.
Just annoying.
Dumb.
She's an annoying asshole who is reaching to climb her way to mean something in this world, and you don't mean anything, and no, we're never going to believe you. You've blown it all. You had
there's
a
no shot for redemption.
You've
for
blown
me
it all.
personally.
No,
And I'm going to a little bit jump ahead and also jump back. Woo, multi-level time machine. So, we said this like I can't remember. I don't know if it was last week or the week. It was probably the week before. But we had talked about how it would have been so great if Janet had decided to choose nerdy, band geek, metal detector, Dave and Buster's. Like, oh, I don't know what I would do if I saw a pineapple on a door. No, Janet, not an actual pineapple. Like a oh, ha ha ha. Like that Janet, fucking star of the show, number one guy in
100%.
the group.
Yeah.
Her and Zach are fucking fighting to be number one.
Oh my God, the scenes between her and
Oh my
Zach would
God.
be such lols.
Yeah.
Such lol.
Yeah, it's like I always
Like-
said Will and Grace should have been Jack and Karen.
Dude. Oh yeah, totally. But like she I don't even know who got in her head. I don't know how
She
she
did.
thought about
She
that
got
she
in her
could.
own head.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like, but how did she think she could pull this off? And how did she not think like? Because like the joke or the rumor or whatever is that she's a stan, that she fucking studied the whole thing, she knew the whole drill, she got involved, she
Yeah.
was a mole, and now she's like made her. Which like honestly, if that is true, like if she decided to go be the CEO of a corporation and like did that, like we'd all be like, fucking yeah, Janet, good job. She did it. Like that was her dream. It was just to be this, not, so we should applaud her. I'll applaud you for that. But you made a wrong choice. You're gonna get ousted from your CEO job because you made the wrong choice. You decided to be a mean CEO instead of a nice one.
You know how we keep talking about with Next Gen and Love Island, quite frankly, that this younger generation of kids, one of the things that we love so much about them is that they're very self-aware or seemingly self-aware.
Mm.
Janet is not in that generation. She is not
Definitely
self-aware.
not.
And I think that that's how she tanked her own ship
Yeah.
because she got what she wanted, whether she will admit it to us or not. We believe that, she really did. It was a goal of hers.
Yeah.
Do I think the only reason she became friends with Sheena was to get on the show? No. Do I think that that was in her mind as she's forming this friendship and the Jacks of it all,
Yeah.
getting her and Jason to be close with him and Brittany? 100%.
Yeah.
She is zero self-awareness. And
No.
that's how she screwed shit up.
Yeah.
It's such a waste because you know how I always call her Tracy Flick from
Yeah.
Election? Well, the end of the movie Election, like Tracy Flick in Election is the most obnoxious
Spoiler
person ever. Well, I mean, the movie's like 20,000 years old. So if you haven't seen it, I don't think you're rushing out. But she really is like, you just want to flick her in the forehead and like, or hold her like this and have her little arms be like, God, I probably just ruined the focus on these cameras. Sorry.
No.
Anyway, she ends up at the end, the teacher gets fired. The teacher that sees her for who she is tries to like ruin the election so she doesn't become class president because he's like, no. And he has the right idea at the time. He's like, nobody, like she does not need any more power. Like this is the wrong move. Like let's give the kid who is just like, has more heart and more, is helping other kids out. And like he tries to rig the election so that she doesn't win. Well, he ends up getting found out and fired and blah, blah, blah. But years later, you see him, he's visiting DC to like go see the sights. And he sees her getting out of a limo or like a black car. She's made it to DC. She's in Congress probably, or she's a legislator of some sort. She's made it because Tracy Flick, whatever you thought of her character the whole time, fucking hardworking, smart, like
Yeah.
excelled above and beyond everyone. And she just has a really like horrible social personality because that's all she cared about were these things. Janet is not going to be getting out of a black car, 5-6 years down the road. Like she's ruining it all. Like if she doesn't come back after the season, if they don't give her another season to actually like get a clue and redeem herself and step back and be that person that we always talk about, like the voice of reason. And like, if she doesn't get that, her and Jason will be walking down the street for years to come. And nobody that watches Bravo shows or Vanderpump type shows will ever forget who her and Jason were this season. And they will get eggs thrown at them on the streets because that's how obnoxious they've gotten, how horrible they've gotten. Like your entire plan has not only like didn't go the way you planned it to, it has backfired so hard that like you are the joke. You are Jack's level joke. Like not Jack's level because Jack's is like very harmful and
I was just saying
very
he's actually
like
dangerous.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not. They're
actually
just
dangerous.
schmoes.
Yeah,
but
that-
like
yeah.
the
You're the
level of like
valley.
what you think you guys are putting out there, no one is buying it, and like it's becoming like oh my god, you should just hurry through this because this is really painful for everyone to watch. Like it is in the it's not the level, but it's circling that like just zero self-awareness. Like when you hear Jax get up and go like, it was really hard for me to say. It was just like when he tried to say that I have an addiction problem. I have a substance abuse issue with cocaine. God, saying that out loud, tough stuff, man. Like, do you remember him saying that?
Yeah,
or it was
yeah.
like
It's horrible.
It's like you've heard that
I
a
remember-
million times.
I remember that scene,
Saying
yeah.
it out loud. Exactly. I remember
Yeah.
that scene.
Yeah.
That's how his entire thing came off with it's so hard to say these things to this fucking fake doctor right here and my three friends who I've already clued in.
Who I've already performed this in front of.
Right,
Who
exactly.
gave me notes.
He did. And he was a little bit better this
Yeah.
go around. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is. I think he's been practicing on the mirror.
Yeah.
But
so
to that end, I think we saw so much of that bad behavior
Yeah.
in this girl's dinner because she was so off the rails and nasty and for no reason. I get it. You think that like someone here came for your husband or whatever, but like you've either buried it or you haven't. And I don't know what hard on you have for Nia, Janet, but like it's not a good look.
oh my God,
Because
it's horrible.
You just are gunning for this chick who Nia hasn't done anything
Yeah.
to Janet. They might not get along, but she hasn't tried to ruin you, unearth some secret that you've tried to keep buried for the last, 38 years of your life. And it was interesting because Jasmine had said something in her confessionals, but it was like during this dinner scene. And she goes, when she started acting like this, it just made me realize like I miss the old Janet.
Yeah.
The one that I had fun with and that we would kiki and like all this stuff.
Yeah. I miss the old Kanye.
I think the world misses that person.
I think we're gonna edit that part out.
Um,
Somebody's gonna clip that of you, and just that'll be the end of
oh
us.
yeah, true story. So yeah, so it reminded me. I was friends with this girl for this, not Janet, this person. Let's just call her Sally. I was friends with this chick Sally for a really long time, and I never really wanted to be friends with this person. It just kind of was one of those things where like we had mutual stuff that was
Yeah.
going on and I couldn't really escape them in a friend group, whatever. And so, and they weren't a bad person. It just wasn't my vibe.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember a lot of people in this friend group knew this person before I ever came along. And I was always perplexed as to how she had these great people in her
Yeah.
life because she acted so abhorrently.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my friends saying, oh my God, no, she was the best during this specific period of time. And we would have so much fun and go to these parties and laugh and all this stuff. And I'm like, are we talking about the same person? And they were like, wait, you never got that version of Sally? I was like, no, never once, not ever. And they're like, why are you friends with her? I'm like, I'm not anymore. I'm not going to be. And I realized that they all got this version of this person
Yeah.
that I never did. And that's why I guess they like hung around longer.
Yeah. Because they're just thinking she might
pop
make
back.
a 180. At
Yeah,
some
might do a
point.
special guest appearance
Yeah.
or whatever. And I feel like
Freaking Mark.
exactly. He will not be doing another guest appearance. But I just it either makes me think one of two things. Either this is a friendship that we need to end with Janet because she's the good Janet's never making a guest
Yeah.
appearance because that person is just gone.
Yeah.
Or maybe that person wasn't that great and Jasmine just didn't realize because she didn't see her enough. She wasn't working with her.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't the magnifying glass of fame or whatever on her.
Totally. Yeah.
And so I just think I wanted to say, Jasmine, you're waiting for something, a ship that's never going to come in.
Yeah. When you said, like, I don't think that she became friends with Sheena just because of this thing. I do believe that she became friends with Sheena because Sheena is who Sheena is. I do believe that you treat someone differently that you have put on a pedestal. So if you ever were to have like normal problems with Sheena, someone like Janet might not get pissed off at that, or she might get pissed off and just tell Jason about it, but never confront Sheena about it. Janet is a person who sees what somebody has to offer her, what like there's certain people in Janet's way, and there's certain people that only aid Janet in her like her hopeful trajectory, like what she set out to do, like what her plan is. I believe that they could have easily been genuine friends in that, like, they had good conversations, enjoyed hanging out, laughed together, all the things. But I don't believe it. What's her name? Janet was on vacation to LA and met Sheena. I think you meet people at hotel pools all the time when you're on vacation. I don't pen
and you
pal
never
with
follow
them.
up with them.
Yeah, I don't follow
In
up
fact,
with
you
them.
hope that they never find you. Not
Yeah.
because they're not wonderful. It's just like, I
No,
don't
like
know.
I met
This
you on
is-
vacation. It's like when you were younger and you go on vacation with your parents and like you'd meet a boy that was there with his parents too.
Yeah.
I wasn't calling them when I got home. I was just like going home and like telling all my friends like, oh, when we went
Yeah.
to wherever we went, I met the cutest boy and blah blah blah. And like we're gonna keep in touch. We never kept in touch and we weren't allowed to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
So like you certainly don't move to that town and then call that person and then get to know all their other friends. And like that is something that I will just always like. Janet can try to play this as normal. Yeah, I was a fan. Who wasn't? If you said that you weren't a fan of the show, you're lying. I don't know why it's a big deal. Well, everything that you did, I believe, was super calculated and super like just you thought you could get something out of it. That can still be a real friend or someone that you enjoy hanging out with, but like would have never been friends had Sheena not been on a show.
Let me put it to a different way. And we're a little bit older, so whatever. But we're all fans of that show.
Yeah.
We live
Down the street.
3 blocks. No joke. We
No
are
joke.
currently 3 blocks from Pump and Sir and Tom Tom and all these fucking places. I've never been to one of them.
Oh, I've been to the
been to Sir.
restaurants. I've been to Sir.
How many
that's
times?
the only
though?
one.
I've been to Sir a handful of times. And when, you know what, when people visit, like when Kwok visits, like he wants to go to Sir. So like people
In all
like
fairness,
to go. It's good food.
I went to Sir and Villa Blanca before there
Oh,
was
I went
a
to
show.
Villa Blanca too. Yeah.
Like they
Um,
were restaurants that were like fun and good to go to.
Oh yeah, maybe when I used to go a lot, that wasn't a show.
That's because it wasn't.
I mean,
No, that's true. It
a
wasn't
little
a show
bit. My
yet.
point is like,
Yeah. Yeah.
we live like you don't. If we're
Yes.
fans, and we
Of the
don't
show.
go. I would rather not go. And so like, if
I avoid
you can be a
those people
fan.
like the plague.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can be a fan and not go.
Or you go
And-
ironically.
Or ironically, and then you can be a fan and go and stalk Instagram and
Yeah.
make sure you go to the right pool party, and then pack up and move here and go. Like
Yeah, that
Big
all to
fan.
me.
that's where the word
And like
fan
however
came
this
from.
sounds, because now I feel like it's going to
fanatic.
sound very Janet-esque, like in like a denial or whatever. But for me personally, I am just the kind of person that like I don't get off on meeting celebrities. In fact, I am probably, and this is silly, this is fucking silly. I'm probably ruder to celebrities than I am the average person, because I never want anyone to think that I'm like trying to talk to them or I kind of just go in the opposite direction. I also, if I met, so it's not like I wouldn't be, I obviously I've worked how I worked. Like, it's not like I'm rude. It's not like I don't want to have relationships with people who are actors. I just don't, it seems like a tall order to me to like, it feels unnatural to me. I don't seek it out. I avoid it more than if I can let it happen when I need to for work, but like it's not a comfort zone for me. I don't want to be in a circle of people who are celebrities and then I'm not. It's not a natural setting for me or
I
something.
feel like, if I may, you are like you like being liked. Like not in a bad way, but you like.
I do.
Yeah, like that's your jam. And you talked about it before. It's like, oh, you liking a dude who likes you because you're like, well, yeah, dummy,
Yeah, you get it.
he gets
Yeah,
it.
it seems smart to me.
Really
Yeah,
a
right.
brilliant platform, quite frankly.
Yeah.
It really is. The best example of that is she told her sister that once, and her sister was like, okay, whatever. And then her sister met someone and was like, big poop, I get it now. So like, it was perfect. But you are that person. So I think that probably subconsciously celebrities are the type of people that, naturally have a hard time trusting friends and trusting people
Yeah.
because they're like, are you here because you want to be my friend because of me
Yeah.
or because I'm fucking so-and-so and I'm on the show or whatever? I think you are like, I'm not fucking dealing with that. Like you
Yeah,
don't know.
that's a
You
tall
either
order.
you're not the same, but in a weird way. They say like, I want you to like me for me, or we're not. We
Yeah.
don't need to hang out.
And I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you otherwise. Like,
Totally.
I'm out here to enjoy my evening,
Yeah.
as are you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put you in a position to have to wonder, and I'm not going to ruin my evening. By now, I'm here to make sure that you think that I'm having
Yeah,
this
yeah. And
conversation
you're one-
organically.
Right.
And I
and,
just
like,
want to go cheese
wondering
balls.
yeah,
if
I
this
just want
guy
to go
trust-
cheese balls and a pumptini. Like,
Totally.
and also, and Courtney does this to me all the time because Courtney does know everyone, and she'll start to tell me a story about someone, and I have to seriously go, I do not want to hear the end of the story. I like my entertainers to be entertaining. I don't need to hear that you did something shitty and then go, oh, I don't like that person anymore. Like, I would rather not know any of those things, because then how do you like get on their team anymore? How do you enjoy watching them if you know they're a shitty person? So like, why take away from your own entertainment quality? You know, I
Fair
don't
enough.
need it. I don't need them.
Back at the ranch, they have this massive blow up. Obviously, Janet said like, "Oh, I was drunk," but and we'll get to that scene
so
at the
funny to
hotel. But
me.
it's exactly. We'll
Hold
break.
on. Sorry, two things. One, we got to give it up for El Coyote. This is for those of you who don't know, El Coyote is probably in the top, maybe top 3, top 5 for sure, global mecca gut bomb restaurants.
Gut
What's a
bomb?
gut bomb? Makes you feel real bad.
Yeah, not so.
Okay.
Imagine a bomb going off in your gut region.
I've never eaten there.
And
I have
then
a stomach,
after
a
that,
steel cage for a
your
stomach.
butt region.
No, I think I love that restaurant still to this
Oh,
day.
everyone does. It's amazing. It's super good. It's worth
Wait,
it.
where
It's
is it?
100% worth it. It's on Beverly near CBS, like down a
Oh,
little east
yes,
of
that's
CBS.
right.
It's been there for 100,000 years,
Yeah.
since before food even was invented. They were like, let's build a place and we'll see what it turns into.
It's great.
It
Go.
turned
If you
into
come
okay.
visit, go.
100% go. Just don't go anywhere afterwards except your hotel room. Trust. But
Get a
it's
late
good.
checkout.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good. It's super good.
I don't know if I'm putting this.
Yeah, you should, because
Nobody
it's a
wants to
warning.
hear about your
It's
bowel
public
issues.
access. It's not mine. I'm just saying. Like
Oh.
everyone from LA is going to be like 100, 100. Trust.
I'm from LA. I don't.
Anyways,
Go on.
this scene at this place was the epitome of this season, this show, kind of maybe where Bravo's at right now. Like if anyone was like, oh man, I've been in a coma for 5 years, what's going on with Bravo? I would be like, sit down, I have a scene to show you. And it would be this scene at El Coyote. The most classic, like I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a fucking big secret. But all these scenes, there's clearly a camera person, there's a dude with a big audio, fucking booms, getting audio, and then there's another person, girl, man, like producing. There's a producer, and the producer says, okay guys, here's what we're doing. We're gonna talk about this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna go over this. Okay, ready? Okay, let's go. And then shit happens, and they'll chime in once in a while if they need to. But like this shit, we just saw that it was fucking Luke that brought this girl to the party. And Luke was the one that said, oh, hey, Jesse.
No, not
No,
Luke,
not
Zach.
Luke,
Sorry, Zach. Sorry. That Zach was the one that brought, what's her name?
Jenna.
Jenna to the party. Like, it wasn't even a flashback. It was a full scene. It was a situation. And now we're here a week later, 2 weeks later, and Michelle is going to try to act out a scene where she's blaming Kristen for a thing that was like, no, that's not even a little bit what happened. And Kristen, you're just going to sit there and say, what does that have to do with me? Instead of, what the fuck are you talking about? That wasn't me. I didn't say that shit. Fuck, like.
Well, I think the reason she got, and I agree with you. I just think
It
the
was
only
so
dot
fake.
connecting for Michelle here is this was Kristen's housewarming. She invited Jenna. And so it's like, don't invite this chick around. I know that Zach's the one that was like, oh yeah, go. Tell him. Yeah, no, tell him.
Yeah.
But he never would have been able to do that if Kristen didn't invite her. And furthermore, I think Jenna wants to hook up with
Jesse. Yeah,
I think she
100%.
fully
I
thinks
mean,
he's
there's something.
Who does?
Jenna. I think that
yeah.
girl is
wants to
hot
hook
for
up with.
teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely going to be a weird thing that happens.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's not clocking her. She's not. What I don't think this about you, Jenna. I think this is what Jesse thinks about you. Like, you're not cool enough. You're not hot enough. You don't have a name. Like, whatever. How he's doing his boy math.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right, but in like that, then to go in from that to fucking Janet screaming at Nate, like the whole thing was the biggest load of shit. Like I could see a producer standing at that table and being like, "All right, guys, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna say the thing," and then being like, "But that's not what happened," and they're gonna be like, "It's fine. People are gonna love it." You know, we didn't love it, and then the whole Nia thing was bullshit. You could even see, what's her name? Shay. What's her name? Sheena. And Janet in her thing. That's when Janet was like, not Janet. That's when what's her name? Jasmine was like, she's a bit much. Janet is a bit much. I don't like her. That's when she was like, I like the old Janet. Like this scene to me was the epitome of like the fakest, most produced reality TV ever. Like,
well, two things about that. One, if we're talking about the reality TV of it all, we've said it all season. I think it just highlighted the fact that, like, Michelle, this ain't your gig, girl. Like, you're just not good on the show. No, Kristen is good at this. Janet is not. What's her face? Michelle is not. She just isn't. She's not a good. You might be a good communicator outside of this show. On this show, you don't know how to land your point.
Yeah.
Because the reason Mike was confused is
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah. I get it.
No,
I'm serious. Like, that's just a thing. Like, no one ever has told me out and about, like, wow, you really take 200 hours to say one sentence. When I'm here, something about the light and the camera, there's a screen of me right in front of me. And granted, I have the screen on me because I need to make sure that my hair's not sticking out 7 ways that it doesn't need to be. But like, this is not my natural habitat. And I'm doing my best because we don't have any money. So I have to, we can't, like, one day when we have money for talent, you guys are going to really get what you deserve. And right now you're going to deal with me. But I see Michelle like that, where it's just like, I'm sure that you're a great friend outside of this. I'm sure that you have these conversations with your friends and that's totally like natural and flowing and all the things. But when you get put on the spot and it's like, there's a guy with a headset on going, go, you're like, that thing you did to me, I would like to address it now. I don't think it was fair. Like, it's just, I hijacked that.
No. I think you're completely correct. But here's the other thing that I want to say. Whenever I hear any of the Housewives, and listen, I know it's a different franchise, so maybe this is very produced and the Housewives isn't as produced, but all of them, the broads that don't even like each other, can all agree on the fact that this is not staged. Is it staged in the sense of like, Lisa Vanderpump knows that she is showing up at a dinner. She just had an argument with Kyle and like they're going to talk about it. 100%. She's getting mic'd up. Is the producer probably saying to her like, you know, you're going to talk about the argument you just got into with Kyle, but it's not like The Hills where where it's completely scripted, being fed lines. I think we just need to differentiate between the two.
You know what the difference is?
What?
The bitches on the Housewives have money. They had a whole life. They had a whole network of social activity but like with stakes to it, you know, with like high profile marriages and careers and all the things. These are kids who like, this is all they have. They're scraping for anything. They're scraping to reach that housewife level status. So the Housewives came in with like, I only need this show because like now I've been on TV and like, I kind of like this. I kind of like what I can do with this. And it gets me a little more clout over here. I do have an upper hand in this situation that I've never really had the upper hand in and whatever. Like it's a society kind of like shift. But for the kids, it's a society entrance. Like,
wait, what does that have to do with scripted and non-scripted?
Like, you can't produce women. The housewives like aren't open to being produced. Now, there's a couple of them that will get a wild hair up their ass and think they've got a brilliant idea and they're going to do this thing like that happens, but it's not the usual. If somebody pulls you aside and you're Michelle or you're Janet, like just a couple of no ones, you know, that have never been anyone up until this moment, you're going to be a lot easier to manipulate to to do something, or you're gonna have to kind of craft your own thing. You're gonna have the FaceTimes beforehand and be like, let's do this, let's talk about this with her. So producing the kids, they're kind of like in fight or flight, whereas housewives are not.
Do you think these kids are being produced to the likes of Laguna Beach in the Valley?
Well, those were totally different shows. Like they all will admit that like they literally like sometimes had scripts.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, God, no, not anywhere to that level. They were literally pretending to be in relationships that they were just never in, while fully being in another relationship. Like Kristen Cavallari talks about how like she doesn't know who was it that was like dating Brody. Brody was with someone the whole time. And then but on the show, Brody and Kristen were together. And Kristen was like, I don't know how, and I can't remember the girl that he was actually with at the time, but I remember her saying, I don't know how she dealt with that. Like we fully pretended like we were in a full relationship, and that requires us to be on camera and like hugging and nestling up together. And this girl is just having to sit by and watch this. Like he's in a full committed year-long whatever of a relationship.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I see. I don't think we could ever do that nowadays just because of social media. So people would call shit out.
Yeah. It would be such a parody, you know? It would be such a clear parody.
So I think definitely people are whispering stuff in their ears, or, you know, the producers have their storyboards and they want to push certain agendas. And maybe those are the questions that they're asking during the confessionals and all that stuff. But I don't necessarily think the producer is there on this. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm totally open to being wrong. Like on the sideline being like, I didn't believe you, do it again. Or
Alex Baskin says that he does that. He says when he sees someone trying to produce themselves, that he will cut right away and be like, you're doing too much. Like, what are you doing? And he says that. And I'm like, no, you don't. You like this, like that entire thing. If you actually were the person to stand up and say something, you would have done it at the dinner last week. You would have done it at the snake oil salesman doctor this week. Like, so I think that I think he's not nearly as like, I don't know. Alex Baskin's on my last nerve.
Listen, man, you can become complacent when you have a bunch of shows and a bunch of money and the network lets you do whatever you want. You get bored. You get like, you get bored and then you just kind of do other stuff and you stop paying attention. And it might not be like, oh, he doesn't do X, Y, and Z. It might be he just doesn't show up anymore. And this idiot Jeremiah is running the show, who is clearly not qualified to be running any type of reality show at all. So like,
because there are interesting stories out there to tell. A plethora of them. Like if you watch McBee Dynasty, you see this is not
There's
produced.
interesting stories to tell on this show with these people.
For sure.
They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Like the scene after this, when they do the field day thing, those scenes I'm honestly offended by because they're so ridiculous.
He like paused it in the middle of it and was like, have you ever done this before?
I almost walked out again.
We were just in bed.
Like I was like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere other than this. And maybe someone will be like, oh no, dude, we do that with our friends all the time. Okay, you guys are fucking nerds then. But like, who does that?
No, listen,
who sets that shit up with their friends?
I don't know anyone who does this. I will say if you do it, that seems cute. Fine. I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying I know these people don't do this.
Yeah.
Okay. It is incredibly unbelievable for me to think that they all got together so that they could play tug of war at the Pan Pacific Park here in Los Angeles.
Wait, is that where it was Pan Pacific?
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw a sign that said Pan Pacific. Yeah. But so I don't even feel like, and nothing happened.
No, nothing happened.
It's like, let's just get to, like you said, the stories that should be being told, or give us a different show. Like if you don't want to tell the stories that could be told with these characters, because we do have, I didn't know Luke's grandma was sick. Like in the next scene, when he goes to pick up the ring, and I thought Kyle was so cute when he's leaving and Luke's all nervous and he's like, God, I hope she says yes. And he goes, it's for carriage. She will say yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so adorable.
But also he's so like, no, I've been dealing with these people forever. Like they're saying,
trust me, bro.
But because we skipped out of that last scene, I just want to, what do you think, like, what do you think Janet was thinking when she yelled across? Just was yelling at Kristen and what's her name and Nia. Like, what do you think's going through Janet's mind when like
Janet has no self-awareness, like we've
right?
said.
But like,
I
but
think-
like, don't you think that she's got a plan of some sort? Okay,
this is my point. So I think that everybody else around her is like, what the fuck are you doing this season? And
Yeah.
she thinks, I am rocking this season. I came to play. I'm fucking outing Kristen, the master shit stirrer. I've trumped her. I'm bringing main character energy. She's in her own movie.
yeah,
Janet thinks that what she's doing is all playing, and then I'm going to be the victim. Me and my perfect husband will be the victim of Ringgate. Like she
Yeah.
thinks that
yeah.
she's rocking this,
Yeah.
okay? And she's rock bottoming this is
Yeah.
what she's actually doing. And because she got too much of a buzz on, she got too big for her britches because in vino veritas, right?
Yeah,
So she thinks like, well, because I am the aggrieved party, because you're the asshole here, I get to say whatever I want and everyone's going to be on my side. And then obviously she wakes up being like, wow, I really shouldn't have said that. I went too far. And maybe now she's starting to realize like I'm not doing as well as I thought I was
Yeah.
performance wise.
Oh yeah,
Like-
now, but like in that moment.
What
There's
do you
a
mean now?
Well, now because she's watching the show back and going, oh,
there's a saying in the
I mean,
theater.
she has to be. There's just like no
No,
way.
I think, and I know I was like, I don't know how she made this decision. Like, I think prior to this show, she had to sit down and, because if like we were saying, like she masterminded this whole thing to get on the show, then she had to come up with a plan of who you're going to be, right? Clearly, you knew what you were doing, and you knew that you had to pick a character. You went away from the girl that Jasmine misses, which is Dave and Buster's goofy, silly stories, kind of naive, you know, like
Yeah.
doesn't know about butt stuff and tea and like, you know, that girl.
Yeah.
And I think a producer got in her head. A producer got in her head definitely between last season and this season. And was like, you need to go evil. Can you do evil? And she was like, do whatever you want. Like, that's Janet's delusion, is she thinks that she can fucking do whatever she wants. Like, so there's a big part of what you're saying, totally true. She got too big for her britches. She dove in on a thing. But I think there's a producer in her head that's sitting back going to producer this. Do you remember like the scripted show that we watched that was like about
The
a bachelor type thing?
So good.
Yeah, that show was crazy. And so, with the exception of people jumping off roofs and killing themselves, it was pretty real.
I love that show.
But remember how they would take bets and they would like be in the control room, which is like where all the monitors are and the directors and producers are all sitting in like whatever. And they would be like, oh, I'm going to go get what's her name to X, Y, and Z. And they'll be like, fuck you will. There's no way. I talked to her yesterday. And they're like, okay, cool, 30 bucks, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes. Like on those types of shows,
Yeah,
like
right.
not on AGT or just trying to tell stories and let people dance around. But like where you need real life stories, like that shit happens.
Yeah.
Fake real life stories, I should say.
But see, that's the thing. I think we're saying the same thing because I think the producer's hyping her up to be like, yeah, you got this and you go tell that,
Yeah.
show that turd who's boss. And I
Yeah.
just, she's so,
Yeah.
I was going to say there's this saying in the theater that death is easy, comedy's hard.
Yeah.
Because you know, if you're in any sort of comedic performance, if people aren't laughing, you know you're bombing.
Yeah.
But if you're up on stage having this emotional moment, there is no real audible response to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And because she's on reality TV and this isn't like her stand-up comedy special on Netflix, she's not gauging how off she is
Yeah.
with everyone around her. She's thinking like, oh, this is good TV.
Yeah.
Not realizing like read the polls. Like
Yeah.
they're telling you I've never seen someone lose polls like that on Bravo
Oh yeah.
ever. Or if it has been, it's been a real fucking long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was like Sandoval.
Right. And
It's
obviously
like-
that was so obvious they didn't even do it. Like, was
Right.
Tom wrong for cheating on Ariana
Yeah.
with Raquel?
It's like she just took Nia's character and just like didn't take the layers of it all. like she thinks that no one's gonna like Miss Perfect Little Princess. But the thing about Nia that I have noticed, and what has made me always just love her so much, is that Nia has never been a person like Nia holds herself to a standard and her husband to one. And we see it. People go, oh, they're not being real. Well, it's real. It's real. She's trying to say, I don't want to be that person. Can you stop being that person? You just called me. You just said fuck to me on national television to your wife. You just said that. Like that is a real moment that happens all the fucking time. That's just her real moment. It's not the realness, like I said, that people are always used to. But she thinks that Nia is going to be this perfect little, that everyone's getting sick of that. Nia, what I love about Nia is that she has never once said, you need to be this way. You have to, I don't like that. I can't be around this. I don't want to be a part of this. Like she holds herself that way. And then when Brittany's telling her like, oh, I hooked up with so-and-so, like he's in the friend group. What, you never hear Nia being like, Brittany, that is sacrilegious. You should go home and say your Hail Marys and 5 prayers and like nothing. She's listening. She's laughing with her. She's consoling her. She's constantly looking out for everyone. Like you just really miscalculated this person, like as being this one line, Jesus jugs, and she's just not.
And what's so crazy is, the person who does.
Can we say Jesus jums?
Jesus jums, yeah.
Who does clutch their pearls and have these audible like, what?
Yeah.
Me and my perfect husband is Janet. So it's like she thought Nia was the person that she actually is portending to be, or
and that's
actually
why
is.
That's so true, because that's how you always will see her being like, oh, Kristen will call me when she needs something. No, bitch, that's what you would do. Like, that's why you have clocked that about Kristen, even if it's clocking it or just like you've made an assumption about it. Because I don't know. I'm sure that Kristen would. Kristen's no dummy, but like, because these are natural things. But you voicing it, you think that you're letting us in on something. What you're letting us in on is how your mind works and how you're thinking. And when, you became friends with someone for this, or you would let someone back in the fold. It's like when you all of a sudden had no issue with Jasmine anymore, even though Jasmine is the one that took it straight to your front door and said, you're this, you're that, you're the other. I don't like it. I won't have it. I'm out. And then the next day she's like, Jasmine, this wasn't you, sweetie. I hear Kristen in your ear. Like, yeah, be more obvious, please.
Dude,
like,
she's
this
horrible, because at the little fake ass Olympic games or whatever the hell they were doing, she was like, I was just so mad. I was mad at both of them. I was so mad. I can't believe they did. I was so mad. Oh, I'm so mad. And then we get to the pool in Hawaii, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I was so drunk. I thought the margaritas were so strong.
Yeah, thing I was yelling about your husband
park,
for.
you were so mad. So now you're in my face, and you're going to puss out about it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Her overall bones that she picks with people, there's no there. So when she was, even earlier in the season, when she was telling Nia at that like girls dinner or whatever they were having at Brittany's rental house, she was like, I know, because
the dinner where they were supposed to apologize to Nia for all being fucking dicks to
correct.
her.
Yeah.
And then what's her face thinks this is the right time to interject and not only diagnose her husband as an alcoholic, but just say, I too have been in an abusive relationship, and because I know how hard it is, you can always like, here's the shoulder, here's the ear, I got you, girl. And it's like, I'm sorry, was that help wrapped in an insult?
Yeah.
Because he's not an alcoholic and he doesn't abuse me.
Yeah.
But thanks for playing, you dumb dick. Like, what? So anyway, just in an effort to keep going with the episode.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to ask.
No, I love everything that you added. Basically, the next group of little scenelets, because they're not even scenes, it's just kind of everyone getting ready for the trip to Hawaii. And the only note I had about that is I really do believe that Kristen, I think in the back of her mind, obviously, I'm sure she's hoping that he's going to propose, whether it's on the show, not on the show. She just wants him to propose. But I do think that she's not going into this trip being like, this MFer better propose. Because I remember
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Tamara Barney on Orange County, she really wanted Eddie to propose to her, and they were going on this trip, and she kept saying in her confessional, she was like, the day was ruined because he didn't propose. And I'm like, here we are in Tahiti or Fiji. Who knows, Mike?
That's why I don't take Natalie on vacation, because I don't want her to be like, this is the tip.
Oh yeah, because I'm just that girl that's over here dying for a
dying.
ring.
She's getting manicures every week in
Yeah,
hopes
like
that
I
you're
can't
gonna.
believe another $50 down the toilet.
Okay, so then we all do think that like she really isn't like she's gonna be surprised.
Yeah,
Well, we've
I think
seen
that
her
if she,
react. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that if she thought she was getting proposed to, she might have been a little bit more like, why is Shannon coming on this trip again? Like, I think she would have probably wanted to create a better atmosphere for that, and but she could also be like, "This will be hilarious. Like, it's going to be all about me, and these idiots are going to have to wear a shirt with my face on it." So, like, there could be that too. But I also just think that, like, I think that Kristen has waited for something this wonderful for a long time, and probably would like to protect her peace a little bit, as the kids call it, a little bit more than she did on this. She was just sort of like, "Oh, I'll bring a few cute outfits, and Bob's your uncle."
I think they've shown the clip of it happening a couple times, and like she seems pretty genuinely like, what the fuck?
And Luke is in a super bad mood, and like, has the grandma thing happening.
The one, so in regards to going back or forward, I don't know what, but like in regards to like, there's other options here, producers of storylines, and like, listen, I get that. I'm gonna say this, and you're all gonna be like, but that's not what you said 5 seconds ago. I get that you can't make people do things they don't want to do, but it seems that like Luke and Michelle should be having some sort of relationship right now.
Luke and Michelle?
Yeah. Michelle's mom, Luke's mom. Or sorry, Luke's grandmother.
Sorry, yeah.
Like not a.
I didn't have enough context for that.
Like, no, there's just missed opportunities all over the place.
Yeah, like
but
why
I don't
can't
think
they
that they
go
trust
out
Michelle
for
to have
lunch?
her own. I don't think they trust her to have a story, to have a real one.
But they
let her
do,
talk
because
about
they're
it in after
giving her
shows.
some stupid like, I want to bring up real quick my line, please.
Yeah.
Got it. Some people talk. Sorry, line again, Susan. Like they're trying, right? Like, I don't know, they got script super on there. Like they're trying, so like they trust her enough. Well, cool. Like if you're giving her bullshit and she's flailing, I got an idea. Give her something real.
Yeah.
Hey, can we go plan a scene with Luke where you guys comfort each other and talk about how you're getting through this thing?
When they were talking about mom, it was a beautiful scene.
Totally.
Because
like,
a pro manhandled that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lala's the pro here. I don't. There's some a little light rumor mill that Lala and Schwartz are hooking up.
Rumor. No, stop.
Little light rumor mill. I know it sounds asinine, but it also
does not at all. I would be so here for that.
Oh, I would be totally here for it, but I also don't think that those two have any business dating. Really, I don't know. But like, I would be. I'm just saying, like, if you're asking me if I believe it, I'm finding it hard to believe, because I'm like, this seems very, she just seems so much more like she's looking for someone older and established and completely out of this whole mess.
She's not looking, she's looking for maybe another kid, and that's it.
Which she's got a whole, we listened to an episode of her podcast with Schwartz, and she's got a bunch of rules. Like she's not interested in having a child with another person again. The way that I took it, she only wants to have kids via the way that she had her second kid. She never wants to be in the position again where if things were to go south, that there's a person that she's going to have to battle with, to parent with. So she's like, I think that she's being super... Listen, I think that she's being very like trying to put all these things into place. I think that we all know that, like, as women, we can put like all of these, like, they have to have this. I'm not making the same mistakes. They got to do this. They got to do that. I'm not going back. Like, that's the old me. The new me is boundaries set. Expectations are here. And then once you meet them, come on.
You get likes sometimes, you get marks at other times.
Sometimes you get both.
Yeah.
I think that, and we don't need to go on a Lala tangent, but like, I think that, because I totally understand what she's saying, and I'm like, okay, I get that, especially given your experience.
Yeah.
Like, makes perfect sense. But maybe let's rephrase the 17 rules into one, because you really just need one. You're only interested in men who cannot physically have children anymore.
No, she just doesn't want. She's saying
like
that
that's the easiest, nicest way to put it. Like,
I think the easiest way for her to put it is, I am not looking to have children with you. If you would like to be a part of my life.
But that's where it gets into the, like, if you want to be a part of my life and you want to
I
raise
know,
my
but
kids,
I don't
but you
think-
don't want to have your own kids, and you have to do, like,
I think she
okay,
wants
dude,
somebody who
chill the
doesn't want
fuck
their
out.
own
Like,
kids.
just,
You
yeah.
don't want your own kids, but but you know.
It's
you-
But you
also-
want my kids? You don't want to
That's what I'm
have
saying.
kids.
Her
Like,
rule, that's why I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't even want to get into all her rules,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
I truly think she's just trying to be a responsible woman who is
Who
has
is
been
making
hurt
good
really
choices, who
badly.
is not going to go back to the position that she was in, which I can respect. So that's why I just think, like, find a Tom Schwartz and you don't have to worry about these things.
Well, no, because he wants his own kids.
right.
Or like wants kids. Like I'm sure he would adopt whatever, but like he wants to be a dad. He doesn't just want
Yeah.
to be a dad and then
Yeah.
walk away if it doesn't work out.
Tom Schwartz seems pretty agreeable though. Like you might just be able to tell him. Like I always said.
We've said this before on the show that obviously we've all had bad experiences in different areas of our lives, but like just because you got really bad food poisoning at this, sushi restaurant one time, don't swear off sushi for the rest of your
Yeah,
life
yeah.
or whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
there are good partners, there's good sushi restaurants,
Yeah.
there's good bosses, all the things.
Yeah.
Speaking of kids, this is just a funny thing because I'm a kid. And I love it when kids, babies, toddlers, whatever, get to that age where they start to realize that pooping is funny. Like the whole when Janet and Jason were talking about, I don't even know what the fuck they were talking about because I'm
Oh,
like, I don't give a
God.
shit. And Jason did a sniff and he was like, oh, he pooed. And Janet was like, he pooed. And she's like, do you poo? And he was like, like that shit will forever crack me up.
See, I never thought it was funny.
I don't know why,
I
but
don't think.
Anyway, so all right, so we're basically there's nothing here to do but applaud Brittany for the second to last scene where she stands him up
No shows. Yeah.
at brunch. I think she should never be in a room with him again. I think you just get a liaison that can talk to you, talk through that person. There's apps that help you do this. I just don't think that you until he proves otherwise.
Mhm.
Right now, he has proven himself to be completely unchanged.
so I have a question.
Yes.
You're 100% right.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe. Yeah, right. So we have heard, and I tried to read a little bit today, but it was tough because it's a pretty deep topic. We've heard from a couple people that there's narcissists are narcissists. There's no cure. There's no
Mhm.
coming back. There's treatments, but like that's it. Once you're a
It's
narcissist,
terminal.
yeah, it's terminal. So what do you do? What are you supposed to do? Like, what are you supposed to do with a narcissist?
Not give them attention, which is their oxygen.
But like, think about that in the real world. Like, if you're a diagnosed narcissist, then what? Like, you can't work. Like,
No, yeah,
what?
we've talked about
There's-
this before, where it's like a really hard thing to say, and like if you share a child with someone, you are not allowed to just completely ice them out. Like you've got to deal with them in some way, but like you pretty much just end up giving yes no answers and fucking praying for the best because
But there are,
But
yes.
I guess in real life, sorry to interrupt, but like in real life and fake life, I don't know, the metaverse life, like you can't send them to jail. You can't kill. Like my question is
you want
more.
to kill him?
more like
No, but like more
at
like
large.
at large. What are
how
you
do
supposed
handle
to
it?
do with a fucking dude who's doing things like horrible things and like, okay, well, it's a disease, you can't control it. Okay, but fix him. Oh, we can't.
I
Well,
think
what are we supposed to do with this monster then? Just let him go and be a monster and be like, well, he's a narcissist. What do we do with him? What do we do?
You can't do anything with them, but they will find their person because there's a lot of people out there that are like attracted to narcissists. So like you just hope for the best and you try to make it through those 18 years that you have to co-parent, and then like that's really, it's not like there are people for them, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
And I think you honestly, you just pray that this person is realizing like, oh my God, I do have this problem and I want to be in therapy as much as I can afford to be and do like healing things that can help. I'm never going to be totally normal. Clearly this has a grip on my mental well-being.
How I
But that's
intake
the-
information
I
and how I
think
that's-
reflex how to spit it back out.
But,
I
like,
think
I can
that's
learn
the problem,
tools.
though.
Yeah.
Like a narcissist
Would never believe that.
never. You're correct.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm not. No, no. Like, so that's the problem. The reason there is no cure and the only like treatment is psychosis or like talk therapy, right? Is because you got to get them to believe that they're not that great. But that's the problem. The
And
problem
they do not
is
believe.
they don't believe that. So
Yeah.
like, it just was this thing. I was like, okay, cool. It's Jax is horrible. He's a horrible piece of shit. So what are you supposed to do with that if there's no cure for him? And then there's like
Well, you definitely don't
a
platform him.
tiny fucking piece of my baby toenail that's about to fall off that feels like, well, so you can't help the guy? Like he's like, that feels that little bit bad, right? Like the rest of me is fuck him. I'm gonna take my back and shoot him. I don't give a fuck. But like, I'm kidding. But like there is a tiny little toenail piece of me that's like, well, hold on. If he's unhelpable, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? Like it gets me a little in a knot.
Yeah, I think we like gave up on like, because there really isn't an answer, but you can't really worry about them. What you have to do is educate more women to like if we're gonna tell people like, educate yourself about breast cancer, spread awareness, go get checked, blah blah blah. I think that we need to also start telling women
Narcissist Awareness Month.
read about narcissism and find out early. Don't have children with these people. You are setting your entire life up to just be, oh my God, what a nightmare. You know,
And
like it's just
part of it's genetics too. So like, listen, I'm not
Is
trying to
narcissism genetic?
I mean,
I don't
listen,
know.
like I said, I read for an hour and a
maybe
half
if we had
today, so as
Narcissism
much as I
Awareness
could
Month,
take
we'd
in
know
and
those
then
answers.
Exactly. This
As
is what
much
they need to
as-
put in the pamphlet.
Yeah, we need the pamphlet. That needs to be a subject in school.
But here's the thing: if you have, and don't come for me because we're just spitballing here. I don't know. Okay,
yeah. We don't know.
but
We're sitting
well,
in
no,
a
we
fucking-
definitely
That's
don't
a
know.
fact.
Yeah, we can all agree on that. So they have been saying that the theys of the world, the people that study addiction, that addiction is genetic, like it is in your DNA. It is an actual gene that you have. Almost, it's like an allergy
Yeah.
to alcohol or whatever it is that you're addicted to. Obviously, like for all of the sober people in my life, they say, listen, I have to do all of this work so that I'm basically at the same starting line that maybe you or someone else who wasn't born with addiction issues is at. And that's just how it is. And life is unfair and we all have, get short ends of the stick in different areas. But I'm aware of it. Admitting you have a problem is the first step. And so I do all of this stuff so that I can live like a healthy life integrated in society in the way that I want to be, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some parallel track with narcissist where it's like you have this toxic belief system that you're letting run your life, and you've got to admit that so that we can give you a healthy toolbox so that you can be in your child's life, so that you can be a good partner, so
Yeah.
that you can be a great person to
Yeah.
work with. And I feel like it's not that far off to just, if it is genetic, to explain it to someone.
Sorry, I don't know if completely. Like, there's a bunch of factors. There's like being
Nurture versus nature.
well,
kind of stuff.
yeah, but so it was a lot of like total neglect versus full on like what's the opposite of neglect? Like
Smothering,
yeah,
overbearing.
full smothering, overbearing. Like so those two things can create it. Obviously, one being like, oh, I'm amazing. My parents think I'm amazing. I must be amazing.
Yeah.
So and then also like it was a few things.
Right.
But again, as much as I could take it in the hour that I was Googling and
Totally.
trying
And
to pretend like I was smart.
I don't know if this is the case, but I've heard, whatever, it doesn't matter. We don't need to argue the differences or debate the differences between them. I just think there's enough similarities as to like, okay, this is a trait that you have, whether you
Yeah.
believe it's genetic or not, with addiction or narcissism, that could tank your entire life. So let's just acknowledge that this is going on and get you tools to move forward in the healthiest way possible. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you're not going to not want to drink. It doesn't mean that you're not going to want that attention on you, but like what you can call it out when you
Mhm.
feel that trigger to like, give me that shot of tequila, give me all the attention. And then you have a toolbox to not act that way.
Yeah.
And so I think that maybe to come full circle for you, Mike, I think that's maybe how some help can be brought upon someone. And I'm just curious, Howard Stern talks about being in like in these later years in his life, he put himself through a fuck ton of therapy. Like he would go see his therapist 3 times a week or something like that. And I'm not saying that he's a narcissist. Obviously, he liked attention on him and would do really outlandish things. And of course, he must love hearing the sound of his own voice because of what he does. I
Yeah.
don't hate on any of this. I fucking love Howard. But I'm wondering if there were threads of narcissism in there that he had to like, and that's how he healed it, going to
Mhm.
therapy. And I know he had trauma from growing up. He talks about his childhood a lot on the show, and it seems not that there was neglect, but anyway, I just am curious if if that was it, if there were parts of that for him, because he really has made huge strides forward in
Yeah.
being the best version of himself.
If I can jump in on the come at me bandwagon to me take a little heat off of you this week, I'll double down. Come at me again, bitches. I'm ready. I got warmed up last week. But I think that, like, listen, I'm very curious about, like, what do you do with the narcissist? And there is, like, a small part of me that feels bad, like, because I don't have that answer. And I don't know, like, again, I think, yeah, talk it out until they start to realize that they're not as great as they think. But again, like, that's the problem. The problem is there's a fucking thing on the railroad tracks and we can't move the thing because we need the train to come and the train can't come because there's a thing on the railroad tracks. Like, so it's just this impossible thing. That being said, Narcissist Awareness Month, all these things for sure. But I also think there's like a lot, like a tightrope to be walked where, like, being proud of an accomplishment is not narcissism. That's being proud of a thing that you actually did. Like, narcissists are proud of things they did not do, right? So I think there's maybe, like, I hear the word narcissist thrown around all the fucking time. I don't think there's that many narcissists.
Agreed.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, I would just ask that we be careful on calling someone who's maybe got a big ego or doing a lot of wonderful things and bragging about it or being proud about it. That might not be a narcissist, right?
I couldn't agree more.
There are many other things.
Oh yeah, I think that there is
I'm
that,
not
like,
saying
being
that's
a full
Jax or
blown
any of these.
narcissist.
Oh God, that, definitely not defending
Yeah.
any of these people.
No,
are
Jax
saying that,
is
yeah,
definitely
these
a
guys are
narcissist.
That
foul.
we- yeah,
we've
I'm
labeled
just
that.
saying,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
being proud of
and
your
Jesse
accomplishments
is
not bad.
something like that. I don't. There's narcissism, and then I think that people can have narcissistic tendencies. Like, it doesn't seem like, I don't know how this gets diagnosed. I would love to see a checklist of, like, if all these things
It's a
are
big
here, then, like, this
checklist.
is what it is.
Yeah.
But, like, I think that there are a lot of people that will, if they've been on TV for a bit and they've been, like, kind of like the leading man in it, the person, like, and that starts to get, I don't know, I think that you can put yourself in a position to where your atmosphere can highly contribute to whether
Totally.
you become a full-blown one or not. It's almost like get tested early. Take prevention into your own hands.
Yeah, like, what's the BRCA test for narcissists?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And, like, maybe if you are going to be, because this is one of those things, it's like, it's not a very, like, yeah, everybody is, like, we've been talking about narcissists forever, but, like, it hasn't become such a focus. And I think that reality TV has really contributed to the awareness of them, because we're watching them grow larger and larger into one season after season. And I think it's almost like now it's like, you know, when you start at Warner Brothers, you have to do your orientation and you got to go to take the sexual harassment seminar, and you got to take this. Like, I think that when you become a reality star, like, there should be, like, a couple things that you've got to do before, like, day one. And it's just like telling them, like, these are the things, like, you should start seeing some kind of counselor, some kind of therapist now,
Yeah.
to get ahead of
Dude,
these things.
That's actually a great idea. I mean, we have a therapist. It's actually Dr. Chris. He's like the guy on all these, like, doctor shows. Dr. Chris Mahandi. You guys have probably seen him, but he literally comes to our live shows. He's
Yeah.
there every night that we have an elimination, just in case, and he's used many times a season because somebody gets kicked off and is like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking, or they're sad or whatever, and that Dr. Chris goes in and saves the day. What you were saying about people on reality TV shows, so in the sense of like, and this, I'm just taking one of the check boxes, that is the narcissist is proud of things that he never accomplished. And I'm saying he, because most narcissists are apparently dudes, whatever. But like, that's a trait. So like the guy who spends years writing lyrics and fucking rapping in battles and producing songs and buying equipment and getting better and better and better and selling mixtapes and getting a record deal and selling out little venues and then little stadiums and then fucking gigantor world tours. Like, good on you. You did the work. Be proud. Get your ego on. Like, you did something, so we can all exalt you and wear your t-shirts and buy your fucking merch and be proud and go to your concerts and spend money and fucking cry and scream when you walk by and be like, "Wah!" We do the same thing for Jackson, Schwartz, and Sandoval and all these idiots. And they didn't fucking do anything. So like, we are literally making them.
Yeah, we're manufacturing.
We're manufacturing narcissists by being the same sort of psychotic about it, fans.
Yeah.
But you haven't done anything. So like, we're perpetuating this whole fucking bullshit.
No, we are. We're doing a show that's covering a show about a group of people that have nothing to speak for. Like, have not like so yeah. It's a whole. It's a whole cycle. We're not gonna
stop.
We're not gonna stop. Clearly, like, the shows aren't gonna stop. The media is not gonna stop. The people that like this new like the creator economy that's like a part of like the ecosystem of like the Bravo sphere and the Love Islands, like all the networks, whatever. That's not gonna end. So now you just have to. It's like anything. It's like how there's a new law now about how like you can't touch your phone at all in the car anymore. Like, things happen, and then you go, okay, we need a little bit more stuff now to help, negate those things. And I just think it's got to come on the side, the network or the studio, whoever has to take some responsibility for wanting the best for the people that they're employing, almost like it's insurance. And also, you don't want your cast turning into the shit shows that like Southern Charm season 10 did. Like, you guys can get ahead of that and get ahead of all the shit talking and all the like everyone's looking at Bravo and the producers with like a microscope to be like, who did this, who like, this is produced, what producer is like. You won't be under such a microscope. Like, help them help you,
I will say yes to everything you're saying. I just would like to delineate the fact between like, there are narcissists and then there are people on the show that aren't narcissists.
Yeah.
Like, again, like painting everyone with that brush is not accurate. Not that that's what you were saying. I'm just.
No, but if you have like the gene in you, then like this show can activate you and like, oh, here I am now,
100%. I just think when we're talking about like, these shows and whatever, it's like, there's one narcissist on the show and that person needs to be taken out to pasture.
But do we not think Jesse is?
Oh, I meant it writ large, like just talking about any show. Like, there's one narcissist on Real Housewives of New York, which isn't even on anymore.
Yeah.
I just mean any of them.
That being said, if one of the byproducts of someone who turns into a narcissist or develops this disorder is I can't think of the word, like the opposite of neglect, like over nurturing, overbearing, and not over. I don't know why overbearing is giving me bad connotation, but like being that like a Marx, the Marxes, like that like just too much.
On Next Gen, just in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, sorry, on Next Gen. But like, if that's one of the things that can turn a kid into a narcissist, then like we might all be doing that. Like, you're 100% right. Like, what I'm saying is like, well, we're feeding into narcissistic behavior by giving praise to people who aren't really doing anything of substance. Yes, not everyone on the show is a narcissist, but we are doing the thing that is proven to make a narcissist.
Right, but then
eventually.
That's where personal responsibility comes in. Like, because there are people that are lauded across all sports, entertainment, politics.
But again, those people do stuff. Those people deserve it.
Right, but like,
I use that word. I did air quotes for people listening, but
if you look at, listen, there's lots of actors out there that I love that I think are great people. And then there's ones that I think are really talented. And maybe you've gotten a little too big for your britches. You think you're the coolest, the best, whatever. And even though they've accomplished things and they're a good actor and they've won Oscars and whatever, like you've had some crap behavior.
Yeah.
Fashion designers, like it doesn't matter. It's the human condition to fall into this spot in life, this behavior, this narcissistic belief and all of that. And that's why it's on you to be self-aware, be looking at yourself in the mirror and really reconciling with the bad behavior, your good behavior, making sure you're clocking in with the people around you, being like, have I gotten too big for my britches? Am I a bad person? Like, you have to learn how to be famous.
Yeah.
You don't just know it by, even if your family is famous, I think it can help.
Yeah.
But when the spotlight's on you, there's no saying what you could do. And that happens in ways big and small. So at any rate,
Natalie's been taking some classes after this and how to get, because
that's why she's
so
kept
famous.
such a small head about all this new sound fame.
If anybody should wants to be, what does this mean for me? That I picked up 2 more
Okay,
rings.
Phil Jackson, this
Just,
motherfucker flaunting.
No way.
We talk about how like people's parents do stuff, and then oh no, your parents are rich, you're not. Oh, your parents are maybe
Wrestling
successful,
champs.
you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna hang these rings.
Save that for next gen. That'll be more applicable for next gen. Okay, so the last scene before we get into our
Oh, well, one question.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we need to get out of this. I would just like to, if someone
is
can, I think that Jax and Jesse are very different. I'm sure that there are many similarities, but like they still, to me, when I stand them in front of each other, they are in the level of empathy I have for them, or the level of, I think like I can deal with this person X amount and this person only a little. Like they are very different to me in like where I would like to see them in life, or like how I can accept them, how I can. Oh
How
my God, what is
palatable
the
they
fucking word? Yeah, how palatable they are. If anyone, it doesn't need to be a big long thing. It's just like if there is just a way to, if like anybody out there knows like the differences between, just say one of them's a sociopath and one of them's a narcissist. Maybe one of them is a narcissist. Maybe neither of them are narcissists.
Didn't
I don't
someone
really
say
know.
that in our comments?
I feel like somebody did. I can't remember what the answer was. I don't know what episode it was in, so it's going to be tough to find. So if like anyone could just give me a take on like what sets these two apart, and like if there is
a professional
just like a professional take, like if an easy way to
or a non-professional
yeah,
one.
I'll honestly take it all.
Yeah.
I just mean like nobody needs to deep dive it too hard, but just like I feel like someone who knows personality disorders would be able to kind of just say like if it were me, I might throw this person in this category and this person in this, because I would like to start addressing them more correctly, because they both have mad issues. But I find Jax to be the most deplorable human on earth. And I find that Jesse has moments where I think he's funny. I think he's honing in on people's things. I think he gets it. Sometimes I just think he's a horrible, horrible ex-husband. But if you had him in your life in another way, Jax to me is useless on all fronts.
Yeah, in a weird way, I don't know what is worse. Like I'm just going through my head and I don't even know. But like Jack seems like for Jesse, it seems like a weird choice. Like you're choosing to be this weird, douchey,
awful
guy,
fucking dude.
Yeah, like so you can choose to not be that guy.
Yeah.
Which, like, again, I don't know if that's worse. Jack seems like you don't have a choice. You're just
Jax to me seems
all
lost cause.
evil.
Like, baby, I was born this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I wonder if he gets in his truck and jams that song. He probably does. So like I don't know what's worse if you're, if you can't.
I know. And Jesse may actually be worse because he could surprise you. You might not see him coming. You might think he's compartmentalized his shit to right here, and then you let him in other avenues, and then he's like, nope, I'm the same guy in all those.
See,
I was just holding back.
I do think Jesse's really dangerous, and I don't think it's like, relegated to the fact that he was just a bad husband.
Right. But I'm just saying like, these two do seem very different to me. So I just want to know what
totally.
No, I get what you're saying.
So I can stop calling them both the same thing, because I don't think that they are the same thing.
No, they're not. I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the episode, obviously we've got like, a few different scenes in Hawaii. Really, the only two things that jumped out to me here was one that we already touched on when Janet was apologizing, starting her apology with saying, I was too drunk, when you've been railing at this woman, on this woman and her husband for his drinking, but you want to apologize for your behavior
Dude.
under that was
so dumb. I
that
didn't
was
even
marinated in
clock that.
tequila. Like your behavior was marinated in tequila, and you think that you get to say like, I'm so sorry, I did drink too much. No, you don't get to bring that up.
Bro, that's
And
hilarious.
that's
I didn't even
when
think
she
about
says,
that.
I'm not the mastermind. And then people go, no, she is. She's smart. She wants to act stupid. No, sometimes I do think that Janet is so unself-aware, like you said, that like, and just like her masterminding is she is so overindulged herself. She is so overly confident in how well she knows this space. You don't. And for her to, this entire thing has been spurred by he's slamming tequila, not even a bottle of vodka, a bottle of tequila in a pantry. And it's she said it 15,000 times. And for her her first excuse is, I was wasted. I got too wasted. It's just one of those
Is
other
this
moments
thing
when
on,
you're looking
Janet?
around going, is anyone else seeing this? Like,
Yeah.
is it? And then for Nia, because you always said, I'm tired of Nia not, she starts to stand up and then she just goes right back down. Like, you want to see Nia give it. Sure, she still did say, no, I would never disinvite you, blah, blah, blah. She still did nice Nia. But when she goes, that early, huh?
Yeah, I was fine.
Like-
I think, yeah.
I
was,
like that
Great
she said that.
zinger.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed.
Yeah.
She had her little hat on and
Yeah.
her little like,
You know what sucked though? And this is just because I'm so aware of this dumb shit. But when she went and slid behind Danny to put her drink on the thing and then came back and she kind of slipped a little, like I was like, oh, fuck.
yeah, I know.
Carly said something, her and I had a chat on the comments this last week about like just her past, like her being a Miss America or whatever, like being that like that's just prep perform, cool, win, back prep like it is a life of preparation, right? And then performance, because you have to nail the performance, and so you have to prepare, and like nothing more than that life, right? But there's one maybe that takes second place, and it's a 5th degree black belt in karate, which everyone forgets about. And Carly
We
was
do
like,
forget
I
that.
do, I forgot it, she forgot about it too. Prep, perform
Yeah.
to next belt level. Prep. Like, so there's not a situation that lady cannot handle instantly. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you're
Totally.
never gonna trip her up. I know I literally said she just tripped in the pool, but whatever. But like, she's never gonna, you're never gonna surprise her. You're never gonna fluster her. Like at dinner, maybe you can, but like, I don't think she was flustered as much as she was just like, what is happening? Like, why is this
And not
happening?
wanting to be in that kind of energy. Like,
Yeah.
this is so intense. It's so
Yeah,
unnecessary.
exactly.
I left my kids at home. I'm emotional.
Yeah, I
because
left
I'm
my kids at home for
breastfeeding. Like,
this
yeah.
what
stupid
the
shit.
fuck?
I'm
Get
out.
over
I know.
yourself, Janet.
And her to once again say, I would have never disinvite you from a trip, and Janet to go, I would have.
Yeah.
And like she would, and here's the thing, Janet thinks she's being like, oh, I'm being self-deprecating right now. No, you're like nothing. You couldn't help yourself at this point. Like this season is a
It's a wash.
It's a wash.
Or it's
yeah.
a dump.
Not
like,
a wash, because a wash means like
Yeah,
it's like
it's-
all even.
it's
Steven.
over for
It's
you.
over for you. This is a done deal.
You can't
There's
come
no
back.
turning back. Yeah. So just work on your plan for next season and pray that you get one.
Yeah.
I pray that you don't, but you know, that would be a wash.
The other thing that I noted that, like, just from these last few little scenes in Hawaii was, and I'm going to try to explain this in a different way, okay? It's the Jesse stuff, because he is so hung up on this affair that she had, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and people can come for me if they want to with this shit. She kissed another dude. You were an awful fucking husband. She wanted out. You wrangled her back in. She knew she shouldn't have done it. And then she made out with someone. And by the way, if she did more than that, the marriage was over.
Mm-hmm.
The marriage was over when she rented the first apartment, okay? You were an awful husband, dude. and I'm not saying that she's right for having the affair. I'm saying it is what it is. The clock's up on this game. There's no coming back from it. You don't need to be contesting the calls anymore with the fucking, what's the guy with the black and white outfit on? Not the juror, the referee. You don't need to be contesting the calls with the ref anymore. Like, it's over. Everyone's gone home. The awards have been handed out. Let it fucking go,
Yeah.
Jesse. And he can't do it. And he would be a likable party in this group of people if this is how he played his hand.
Mhm.
Like, I realized too late that I was not the best husband, and I certainly wasn't the best husband for Michelle. And yes, does it bum me out that she had an affair? But honestly, I can't blame her because I was an absent husband. And when I came in as a Monday morning quarterback wanting to fix shit that, like, probably that I'm realizing now wasn't fixable
Yeah.
because you were at home with a newborn by yourself and
Yeah.
I'm going out with people and it's the pandemic and you're feeling even more isolated and all of this stuff. And it's a bummer. I want to try to just like heal the relationship now so that we can be great co-parents. And listen, I wish it didn't happen. It broke my heart. But now I know for the next time around, like I'm going to be so much more of a present husband.
Yeah.
If you could learn from what happened and express that to us, and we would all love you.
Yeah.
We would all be like, listen, even though she didn't have some long fucking torrid 2-year affair, 3-month affair, whatever, like it sucks that she did that. Like I would be more, I'm not on either of their teams because like I said, she's not good at communicating. He's a shit bucket
Yeah.
that I can't really ever get into. But like if he could just take himself out of
Yeah.
the victimhood
Yeah.
that she made out with another guy and he's got a Nancy Drew this fucking situation. Was it you, Aaron? I saw your honey in my pantry. It's done. The
Yeah.
cake is baked. Fucking get over it. She made out with someone. You were a shit husband. Learn from it and tell
know.
us what you've learned. And then we will all like you. But you just can't fucking do it. I can't stand this guy.
It's not going to happen. He'll never get over it.
No, of course not.
No, I'm not like, you can't like get cheated on by someone that you think is like your everything and talk to me. Like
I did.
you, and you didn't fucking sit and wonder and think and timeline and fucking try to figure shit out. You're 1 in a billion.
No, but listen, she didn't find out about that until much later.
Yes.
So she had gotten over it, like had,
So it didn't happen in this way. Like,
but it still happened.
No,
The
I'm not
moment that she did
discounting
find
it,
out
but
about it,
like-
she was like, literally, because this is Courtney, took a moment to go, how do I feel about that? And then goes, nothing. Like, so I'm
Sure.
just saying, she,
Yeah,
you know,
I know, I
wasn't like a
re- I was
gloss
just
over.
like-
she really did try to
Cool.
check in with herself and be like,
but when
wow, I
you
lived a
come
lie.
home
Interesting.
from
Like,
work
it
and
didn't
your
matter anymore.
buddy is like, hey man, we need to talk. And he tells you the girl you're seeing is banging other dudes. Or your wife, you find out, did this and maybe did another thing. You've heard these other things and fuck, I told her to go with that dude and like get sexy for selling the hat. Like, dude, maybe it's different for chicks and dudes, because dudes think they're all fucking superstars, and so like when you do something that says they're not, like, rah, fucking ruins everything. But like that shit will fuck.
But I think we're saying two
you
different things.
up.
Or maybe we're not. I'm not saying you can't be deeply, deeply hurt about it. You can. I'm just saying your inability to understand how we got here, your
Right, but it doesn't
inability to
matter
let it
because
go.
it does matter. But like
is-
to him, she was worse. So like he's never going to accept that he did, not never, he might someday. Right now in his mind,
I know
she
that.
did something 1,000 times worse. What he did, the consequences weren't like, he didn't deserve that. Was he a bad husband? Sure. Did he bail when the kid went? Sure. He admitted all that, whatever. Horrible, fucking horrible, right?
Probably.
Not
Yeah.
defending him. I'm not giving him a pass. I fucking hate Jesse. Someone is going to be like, oh, fuck the dude and forgive him. Go fire it, fine. But that's not what's happening. I fucking hate Jesse Lally. I just am speaking from experience that like, whoo, that shit'll just make you go fucking crazy. And it'll make you go the kind of crazy that drives around late at night, sits in front of a house, fucking chicks are burning motherfuckers' clothes,
Even
house. Like,
but hold on. If it
I didn't
was
burn
this,
anything. I'm just saying.
I understand, and whatever. There's nuance to things, and I maybe get lost in the nuance of things. But if someone had an affair with, let's say I'm married to some guy, and this guy is having an affair with Natalie. Okay, let's say you guys aren't together, whatever, and he's having an affair with Natalie. Yes, that is. That would take me a very long time to work through and not try to get lost in the minutia of what happened. How did I miss it? All this stuff. But that's not what happened. And granted, he doesn't believe that. He believes that she was out fucking half of Los Angeles, okay? And at a certain point, I just believe whether it is, wow, this person
You think Jesse believes that Michelle was out fucking half of Los
yes,
Angeles?
I
don't know
believe
if I
that he
that,
does
but-
not think that it was what she told him is what she says is the truth, that I
just
made out with
think
one
he
guy.
thinks she banged Aaron. I think that in his head, she said, "Oh, I made out with a guy," and that's her like getting away,
Yeah.
not getting away, but like being like, "Oh, I'll be honest." In his mind, he thinks that she had a full-on affair with Aaron, emotional or physical.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, and that no one's telling him. So that's another thing. It's like
That
it's
she's not
not the
telling him,
kiss.
yeah.
The kiss. He already knows about the kiss. He's processed fine. It's the shit that you're not fucking telling. I don't mean to like.
No.
But like that's what it's like.
Yeah.
No, I fucking know there's more, and you're not telling me. You
But
told me
it's
about the stupid kid.
over. That's
No.
what I'm
But
saying.
it's
Like,
all of
not.
that
It is
is-
over, but it's not going to be over until he gets his answer.
All of that is there.
it's just so unhealthy for him.
Right.
1
and
billion
that's-
%.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to
All of that
explain
is
No, I
a
get it.
little bit of where he might be coming from. It's not right. It's wrong. He needs to deal with this with a therapist or
It's
with
you
a friend
drinking poison
or
and expecting the other person to die.
yeah.
And
it's-
we
yeah.
get it. It's fucked up. Like, these things hurt your. I'm not trying to bypass any of that and just be like, get over it. But it's like at a certain point, you have to say, I am holding all of this anger and resentment towards someone. It's not moving my life forward. It's not making me more likable. It's not making me a better dad. It's not making me a better friend. It's not making me better at anything. It's making me a giant walking fucking cancer because I'm so toxic. I'm sorry, Nat, you were going to say something.
No. That's my argument about Charlie and Next Gen, which we're gonna get to next if we ever get out of here.
Well, no, this
but
is it.
that's
It's just commies
but
now.
but that's the thing is that there are, because somebody commented that I said something like, someone said Natalie's very black and white about this stuff, and it's like, sure, I know I come off that way, but it's exactly what you were saying, like. The facts are the facts are the facts. Like, you could have all the reasons in the world to act this way and to feel this way and to like have this rage and to feel unwhole and to feel like you got duped and someone's still and still everybody here knows and no one's telling me, like, all those things. But like at the end of the day, you're the only one that has to wake up as you and spend the whole day as you and go to sleep as you and look back at what you've accomplished that day. And if it was flooded with all of those things, it's just like you're not getting anywhere. And I know that you're saying, like, you're not even talking about any of that. You're just talking about what he is going through and what he is feeling. And it's like, at a certain point, the audience is going to be like, get over it, And so I hope that he hears those get over it now. And next season, like when Michelle goes, you were really horrible to me, Kristen. That was last season. That's why nobody cares, Michelle. Like, when you start bringing up shit, why you gotta bring up old shit? So like, I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
You're trying to explain why it is. And I think her and I are probably saying, like, doesn't fucking matter.
I brought up my mom, like, in actually one of the Next Gen episodes when we were talking about Charlie, just saying, like, my mom definitely had like a tougher upbringing than most. And also wonderful parts of her childhood. She had a great mom and all that stuff. But I had asked her once, because my mom's thing is, there are reasons you do things, there aren't excuses. And I just love that personal accountability kind of motto to remember in your life always. But I remember we were talking about something that had happened to her when she was a little kid. And my dad was just like, oh, like getting all riled up about it. My mom's like, oh, stop, Bob. Like, it's fine. And I was like, well, Mom, why don't you hold anger about this? And she goes, well, because that would just ruin my life. And like I said, like, my mom isn't this like sage wise person, but there are these moments where she says stuff like that and you just realize, no, that is wisdom from someone who has lived something and they chose the choice that actually was better for them.
Yeah.
Because she could be mad about things that happened to her, but she realizes, but wait, but I won.
Yeah.
Like I have this beautiful life and a husband that I love and 3 healthy children and we built this beautiful life. And it's like, Jesse, but like you shouldn't be with someone who doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah.
There is someone, if you worked on yourself, because you do have good qualities, okay? I don't like to admit that all the time, but you do.
Yeah, no, there
are funny,
are.
charming things
Yeah.
about you, you know?
Yeah.
And so if you just worked on that,
Yeah.
by the way, you have the most adorable little nugget of a daughter.
Yeah.
You live in a great city. You could, I don't know what your real estate career is, but it seems like you were doing well. Like you've got all this great stuff going for you. And so it's just put more energy into that
Yeah.
than what has happened to you.
Yeah.
So
Craig, just listened to something with Craig Conover on, he was on The Toast, and he's talking about, he was going to do special forces. And it ended up he trained for it. It ended up just being a scheduling conflict that he didn't do. But he said that when he was offered it, he originally said like, absolutely not, no way. And he was dating that girl, Natalie, at the time. And she was like, why are you saying no? And he was like, I'm fucking scared. And like anybody should be if you've seen the show, like, and if it is all real, like they say it is, it's like real fucking army sergeants and Marines and running this. It's not an entertainment thing. This is like real people that are running this thing. You should be scared. But she said it's exact. And this is so like, oh, duh. This is like, it's such an old saying, but like, if it does make you uncomfortable, do it. And I think right now, Jesse is doing everything that's like, he's seeking the kind of treatment that he's comfortable with. I got this life coach who I know is already kind of on my side, and I kind of got him this job on the show, sort of. So now he's getting a platform. So and
I'm only seeing him when we're filming.
Yeah. So I'm going to be able to like get some wisdom from him, but it's going to be spoon fed to me in the way that like I still don't have to really change. I think that Jesse wants to win. Jesse is a big winner. He wants to win this whole fucking thing. And I would just challenge Jesse to just think about this before you go to sleep tonight, that like the way to win is to gain something that you don't already have, because I think we can all admit, as we've just said, Jesse, you've got a lot of attributes that are very valuable to this world and very entertaining and you're smart. You've got a great career. You're clearly well-traveled. People like you. A lot of people don't, but like still.
We're not focusing on that right now.
Yeah, we're not going to focus on that. But like go to a real fucking psycho analysis, like go to a real person that is going to bring up all the shit that makes you uncomfortable. It's not going to take that long. You will come out of it with more knowledge than you're ever going to gain from this Yahoo that's coming in here right now. I'm sure he has great intentions. I don't really care one way or the other. Let's talk about you and you winning. You win by gaining something you didn't already have.
Show them those championship rings, Nat. That's how you win.
Yeah. This is how you win. You have,
and this is what winning looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we get into commies?
Yes.
Okay. Am I the only one doing comments?
Bro, listen, I forgot. I don't remember what cha-cha I did, but Shannon Fall requested some more cha-chas. So this is for you, Shannon Fall.
Okay, well, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So we are obviously incredibly honest, transparent people here, hopefully very authentic as well. And in the spirit of that, we wanted to tell you guys, because this is the portion of the show where we always read the commies, and there are so many of them. We are beyond touched and loved everyone jumping into the conversation. Obviously, we are so transparent. We left in everything that happened last week, and everyone had lots of feelings and thoughts on it. And some of them were super loving and supportive, and some of them weren't. And listen, this is a free country. Everyone gets to say what they want to say.
Yeah, America.
Yeah, exactly. But because in all seriousness, because there were so many comments, we're not going to be able to read all of them. Also, we all have, our regular 9-to-5 jobs, and Nat lost her dad, and it was his memorial this past week. So Nat and Mike have been out of town. So the fact that if they've even pulled one comment to read will be a Herculean feat in and of itself. So we just wanted to say thank you so much for being the best part of this show, in the conversation with us always, no matter what it brings. And I know, Mike, I think you want to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Obviously, I had my little temper tantrum last week. Whatever, we're gonna let it go.
A little mentee bee.
Yeah, like Courtney said, there's so many nice comments. We had so many comments in this episode. That was amazing. I talked to a lot of you. I told Natalie, I'm like, I think I'm having more fun in the comments now than I am doing the show, and I have a good time doing the show. last weekend. You might not think that was true, but it is. So yeah, I guess I wanted to shout out kind of just people that spoke to me and made me feel a little better about the people that made me feel a little shitty last week for being a big fat baby. But Carrie, Maximum Dull, Harris, fucker. I mean that in the best way possible. Carrie Peacock, Truth for Peace for Freedom, Melody Chester, who's MCPHX31.
McFix.
McFix.
I think it means McPhoenix.
Oh, McPhoenix.
Or Melanie C. From Phoenix. That's what I think it means.
Oh, that could be.
I'm calling her McFix because.
Anyway, okay, well. ZZ, I'm just going to say ZZ because that's what your thing says. That they're the, like, your shit was, I'm not even going to read it because I'll start crying again, but it was so perfect. Kelly Williams, this was just a funny one. Does this guy normally walk off the podcast? No, first time. Mr. Sugar Shay, Morticia777, Meteor Wine, Nettie, Theo, Lee Armstrong, Bella Lucis, Camtown44. Y'all got to watch this, which, by the way, I went to your channel and watched some of your stuff. You got some good takes, too. Everybody go to Y'all Got to Watch This for some good Love Island goodies. Jen O'Toole. Jen was the person that I mentioned earlier who said that everyone will seem needy until their needs are met. Ugh. Yeah, I got that person giving me advice. Fuck you guys.
Okay.
Miss Chevy, as always, and Joanne Greco. Mike, calm down. Take a break or a Xanax. Really,
Take a Xanax.
Good advice. Lola Broadhead, Tanya Bluebell. Listen, there was a ton of others. Those are just a lot that like took time to write something meaningful and let me know that like I'm not a total idiot, and that you like hearing some of the things that I have to say. And then Monica, Arena. I replied to you, but I don't know if you saw it. The Shimano hat is for bikes. I do like a day at the lake, but I'm obsessed with bikes. So that's what that hat is repping. I figured that was the most important comment that I had to reply to.
Obviously.
Bikes.
But you did, in all seriousness, you did reply to everyone in the thread. I know Nat and I replied to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone knows that you're in the convo with us.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not like we think that you guys are sitting around here wanting to get your comments read. I just want to make note that like we read them. We read so many of them. Nobody fucking told us to do this. Like this is the only reason that we do this. And out of any week, that I didn't have time to go do this, I would have picked any other week besides this week because they were so thoughtful and so nice, so in depth for storm offs with no depth.
Yeah, exactly.
and even just Rajasaki, who said, I don't know why, but I love this podcast. The tension kills me. It's so awkward, but so good.
I have that comment too.
Yeah,
Killed me.
That
So
was like the overall. That's what I was hoping for. I said to Mike, like, because another thing I just wanted to say about this whole thing was that there were a lot of people that had some really like, Mike, go F yourself. And again, bring it. Like there's no wrong answer here.
Not
but
the
like,
first time I've heard that.
But I went to Mike and I said, here, we can cut it out, or I've left it in, or we can cut it out. Do you want to review it? And he said, go with God. He could have cut all of that out. I could have said Mike got a work call and had to skip off. He probably got a work call too, honestly. Like that probably also happened because he gets them the entire time. Mike goes to work from, I would say 8 a.m., gets home about 10, 11 hours later, and then we hit record about 15 minutes after he walks in the door, and then he shoots for another 5 hours. That sometimes grandpas get grumpy if they had a little bit too many hours of work, and then also a shitty show that they had to watch on the way home. I hope that's fine. Highway Patrol.
I think I can get my license renewed here soon. That part we are cutting out. I need to review that.
So if Mike wanted to, this is Mike's company, this is Mike's show, he could have cut the whole thing, and he said, let it be known that I am grumpy.
But we all work hard, like we all do, and these two don't get grumpy. So like I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate a lot of the comments. Meteor mentioned it too, and Carly's mentioned it. But like this one runs her own company. None of you would know who we are without this one. She edits all the time. She never sleeps. Like I work a lot.
One day.
We all work a lot. And we show up because you guys make it easy and fun. And yeah, it's frustrating sometimes. Boot.
But you never let him see you sweat. So
Yeah,
it's
and I
fine.
tried not to until last week. But yeah, you guys definitely make this so much more enjoyable. And they say like, oh, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Like, well, okay, whatever. Well, maybe not, because this is kind of fun.
Oh my God, you just pulled a Lindsay on Summer House. On Summer House, Lindsay said, you know how you have a kid, people say like, oh, you don't know the love that you could possibly have in your heart until you have a kid. And it's like, whatever. She goes, it's totally true.
Yeah.
Ah! Great Lindsay pregnancy laugh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, thank you everybody. Thanks to the meanies and all the ones that appreciate what we're doing and take the time to say it. Like, you guys have no idea what it means and just how cool it is on our end to hear it and to know that the work we're putting in is working.
Yeah. And to the people that, had unsavory comments for that episode, stick around. You'll get to like it here. I think part of the reason that we have this amazing community and we want to come back to do this every week is because we are so passionate about it and it is so fun to do these deep dives. And so maybe you caught one that wasn't your speed, but I promise you, if it's not this episode, it'll be the next one.
Yeah, I did notice that a lot of the people that were really staunch about get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
I had never,
Same.
and I'm not saying that this is across the board, but like for the most part, it was people that I hadn't heard from before. So I would hate that if that was your first taste of this show and that you wouldn't give it another go around because it's just
Yeah, I'll turn you out.
yeah, just in time for him to do it again in about 3 to 4 weeks. I would bet.
I think I'm going to wait a couple months.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
thank
I'll wait
you.
a couple
You
months.
guys.
I felt bad. I did feel bad for you guys. Like Meteor 2 was like you guys didn't skip a beat. I didn't watch the episode, not gonna lie. I do watch our stuff. Kind of tuned out on that one. Didn't want to relive it. Trusted you guys in the comments to do my deep dive for me. But I can only assume that it was a perfect not skip a beat. And as many people were like, oh, fuck it, the dude. I'd take these girls all day long. Whatever.
Also, you might have noticed that Courtney's camera, our frames were totally fucked. Courtney's shot was out of focus. He does all of that stuff. So.
Yeah, how you like me now? Anyways, thank you guys. We love all of you, even when we're being bratty.
Who's we? Kate Mosabi.
Yeah, we have a handful
We're
of
one
comments.
team, one dream.
We have a handful, and just like the way that I do them, there was just no time to. So we
Do you
have a
want to read
handful.
the few that you had, and then I'll go into the ones that I got?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. First, I'll start off by just saying that I think that you might have helped with this. We had record high initiation applications to join the Party of Schwartz because the show, our entire campaign for the Party of Schwartz, just in case anyone has lost the plot here, because we don't talk about it every time, but like it is not about we're big Tom Schwartz fans, we want to get a t-shirt. It's about we are watching a show that we hope can be saved by just a little bit of light, and we know this one guy, tried and true, that can bring that, and he seems to be popping in just enough to bring that lightness, and we don't want this show to go away. We would just like to sub out a few, and we've got the perfect guy to sub in, and that's what the Party of Schwartz is all about. And one day, I don't know if you'll ever see this, who knows? The campaign could literally be totally lost on. It's just here. We're the only ones that know about it. That's probably not a very good campaign. We need a campaign manager for Party of Schwartz.
We're busy.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're taxed. We are.
Yeah,
this is our second job.
But I just want to say that those people are Carrie Peacock, Jen O'Toole, Reality Bites, Mary Ayaka Kent, and Louisa Beaumont from Canada. All the way from Canada, people are joining the Party of Schwartz. I don't even know if you're allowed to cross political lines like that from country to country. But that's the thing about Party of Schwartz is it's a global movement.
It's bipartisan.
Movement.
Yeah.
Brings the people together.
Also,
Sorry.
Lisa Beaumont.
Yeah.
I've seen more heart emojis from Lisa Beaumont than I have in every heart emoji that's ever been sent or seen in the world, and
Yeah,
I'm
and
totally
there
here
can never
for
be
that.
enough.
That's
yeah.
what the party.
Not even.
Yeah,
Schwartz
yeah.
does to you.
especially
It's the
on
party
a
of
day
love.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, to keep them
Someone
coming.
who also checked in, but like did it on an opposite. Oh God, the cat's trying to get the pizza that Mike didn't eat.
Oh, that pizza was.
Patty Moreno checked it, like she did it in the wrong video. I think she just was like, I'll go anywhere that I can just say, where's Mike? Is Mike doing okay? How's
Yes.
Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the sweetest thing ever.
Thanks.
And it was
I'm
just
good.
came after such a slog of like bad news
Bad
bears
press.
that like I was like, oh, the world needs more Patty Morenos.
Truth.
There were a few that dipped into our Love Island. They're like, I don't even watch the show.
Yeah, I just
want
wanted
to know if Mike's okay.
Yeah, Christina. Shout
Yeah.
out Christina's Chuck Dahmer. Thank you. Appreciate it.
One thing I just want to add for Carrie Peacock, because I just want everyone to know that we're all here thinking the same thing. Carrie Peacock, about her party arrival, she said, "You guys got me with your argument. I do think you're right about Schwartz being asked by Bravo and being in a position to need to say yes and go on. Watch what happens. You win. Add me to the party, but only if I'm in the slot next to Christina. You are." With the caveat, I get to Irish goodbye from the party the second Schwartz does something I don't love. And
Absolutely.
I think we can all say we're all going to
Yeah.
Irish exit.
And
if
the
Schwartz-
eyes have it.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah. We'll all be Irish exiting. Can we ride with you? And that's it for Party of Schwartz. So welcome, and glad to have you.
Well, Natalie's finding her next commento. I just want to apologize to everyone watching that my calves and upper thigh region might have blinded you because they are so milky fat breasts. I haven't seen any sun yet, but
Do you know that they call these the ivory towers?
these are true ivory.
They're not even close.
Because what do you mean?
If I was wearing shorts right now, you guys would all, you'd have so
We'd
many
be blinded.
unsubscribes. Yeah.
Harris says, guys, please don't come from my boyfriend, Wes Wilson's other boyfriend, Mike. One of the best aspects of the show is Mike's hot takes that take our two leading ladies down rabbit holes they've never considered. I considered it. That's the point. And when Mike gets his own show, he's not, at least we know his reactions are genuine and that he's prepared to bring his A game along with us. Also, I agree with his Jesse take. As controversial as it is, Harris, don't do this to yourself. I genuinely believe Jesse didn't realize the scope of the situation regarding Isabella seeing her grandmother. He is a narcissist and is trash Taylor adjacent, but he is no Frank Drebin. I'd like to believe he would let his daughter see her dying grandmother, but wanted to make sure she was mentally prepared for what she would see, which again, he is a good father in the sense that Isabella's well-being is at the forefront of his mind, and he didn't want her to be absolutely traumatized for life. But he is a terrible ex-partner to Michelle, and he doesn't make his case any easier by not immediately going for, yes, of course. He's no Janet, Karen. Yes, man to Michelle, and that's one of the many reasons they didn't last. And this was Mike's greater point, I think, that Jesse is a good father, but a trash ex-husband, and that two things can be true at once, as awful the circumstances. Mr. Newport Beach, Mr. 949, Mr. NOWDIFY himself, you will always get a main character of mine. Oh, you will always be a main character of mine. Get this guy a freaking show already. He has one and we're doing fine on it. He needs one focus. And that's it.
True that is truth. I also told him in my reply for everybody else, I know I play a youngster on the internet, but I'm so old. I'm 714, dog. 949 wasn't even a thing yet.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, God. ZXC QWE.
In Cincinnati.
Sacagawea. I think I understand where Mike is coming from. He sounds burnout and honestly same. So much of these recaps lately, for all recap shows, not just this one, devolve into judging every cast member's moral character. But as he's pointed out before, the entire point of VPR in the Valley and most reality TV is that you're watching people with questionable morals live their messy lives out loud. That's the draw. It's always been part of the genre. The problem is this creeping literalism in how people interpret media. Everything now is judged through a moral or ethical lens. Like the only valid way to engage with someone is to decide if the people in it are good or bad. It reminds me of when I used to watch a recap show of that show, You. One of the hosts would constantly harp on the fact that the lead character, a literal serial killer, was a terrible person. Like, duh, but the conversation never moved beyond that. This whole moment reminds me of the age-old question, can morally bad art still be good? Reality TV used to answer that with a clear yes. The appeal was always about watching messy, morally questionable people with no self-awareness live out loud, not to admire them, but to witness and relish the chaos. But as Mike has referenced so many times, the genre has changed. Casts are now full of influencers who aren't there to be real. They're there for exposure. They play it safe, posture, and virtue signal because they're hyper aware of how they'll be perceived online. Can't lose those brand deals. Add to that an audience that increasingly insists on interpreting everything through a moral lens, and suddenly the answer becomes no. There's no room left to appreciate or critique the show outside that binary. So when those two realities collide, what reality TV has meant to be versus what it's become, you get what's happened tonight. Mike gets frustrated and walks off. The too long didn't read version, Mike, I feel you. I hope you reconsider and come back. He did, thanks to you.
I made it. Yeah, thanks to you. That was 100% A++ on the
Yeah.
retention
Yeah.
exam too. Like that's multiple episodes of viewing right there.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah, no, that was when you wonder, like I talk in circles all the time and you always wonder, did I land a point? Well, Mike has talked about has said this in some version over the last, like, I think we're at like 73 episodes or something because you have to number them when you load them on Spotify. From all of that, you can rest assured that people understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was a beautiful way
Only
to put
took
all
73 episodes.
of it. Yeah. And then my last one is Choose for Peace. Video killed the radio star, but YouTube is killing the video star. These actors are out here struggling. I have a relative who worked in Hollywood. He was Babe Ruth on The Sandlot. When I was growing up, we would always get a phone call to turn on the TV whenever he was in a movie that was about to be on. I thought he was living the high life with his very impressive filmography, but later in life, my mom told me just how much their family struggled just to get by living in California. R.I.P. Art Loeffler. So I'm relating Danny's situation to his. I have a lot of respect for Danny for keeping his family's boat afloat. At the same time, I keep thinking his family intact trumps being on this show. If this reality show is going to damage his reputation and hurt his chances of getting future voiceover jobs, then he's going to need to make a tough decision. Reality TV might be easy money, but not if you have to let Jason turn you into a punk and soil your good name. It's true. He has a decision to make. And I think we're just all here. Speaking for Courtney and I, we're here to support that decision and know that like it will be one that's very well thought out. A, because he has a fantastic partner.
Yeah.
And because his career has been too long and he's worked too fucking hard to let it be loosey-goosey. So I'm sure he'll put it in the Lord's hands.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Already done.
Yeah.
One quick one, like, and this was said a couple times, but like, and I don't know if I replied to that or somebody else, but it's like, yes, you need to make money. Yes, you have a family, four in the house, and all that stuff. But like this thing could hurt the other stuff that you came in with, right?
Yeah.
And Nettie was like wishing for a Fisher Price or Pampers brand deal for Danny and Nia soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I love
I'm
that
like,
comment.
that's like,
Yeah.
yes, dude. I think they could get them. I think they could kill them. And I think they could do a lot better than this show.
Yeah. We just are thinking that
I'm fine
we
with-
want him to win.
Yeah.
Like and I think that's what I like about Danny is I think that he's just like in that one moment where I said, you know, he's looking up, or even in this episode when he's talking to Jason, he puts his hand on his chest and said, I feel horrible. I called you like this. I wish I'd have. He is eyeball like there's a confidence that like exudes from Danny where he means what he says what he means, and he's saying it straight up. I find him incredibly genuine, and I feel like that stare, he's got his hand on life's chest and is like,
Aw.
I'm doing like, and he moves with purpose, and I'm so rooting for him to win
Same.
this. Yeah.
So rooting for him. Okay, so here are some of the ones that I grabbed from the week. Patrick Boren. What Jesse shares with Jax is a personal characteristic that their first instinct appears to be to leverage a situation, and then if it backfires, to clean it up to improve perception. I 100% believe that Jesse used the opportunity to get leverage on Michelle and then be the good guy by stating, "Oh, I would never do that." that this is not about Michelle. It's about Jesse controlling the narrative. And a lot of people had comments similar to this, which I will read a lot of them, I think, because I think people just put it so well.
Yeah.
And I agreed with that.
Yeah.
Nettie said, I did enjoy the Zach and Jax exchange at the Benji party. He wasn't having any of his Jax BS. And then Jax was out the door. Thank you, Zach. Took the trash out. And we all loved that scene.
Dude,
Oh, you
loved
weren't
it.
God,
here
it was
for that.
so
But
I did
Natalie
love it,
and
though.
I
But I replied to
loved-
Nettie. That was one of the man, I'm bummed I left. I had a lot of good things to say. One of them was, I loved how much bigger Zach is than Jax.
Oh, it's
And
so good.
Jax's look on his face, being a dude who maybe liked to fool around a little back when he was a youngster. That look on Jax's face of like, I don't know if I could take this, dude. I'm going to rethink everything that's about to go down right now.
Yeah.
Just, I know that face.
My show, my show,
Yes,
my
yes,
show.
yeah.
Ugh.
My show, but also you're about to get your ass kicked by this.
That's all
dude.
it took was that dude to give him a couple zingers for him to go, this is my show. This is like a fucking toddler.
100%.
Like, this is my Fisher Prize, my Fisher Prize.
A narcissist. He's a complete narcissist.
Yeah.
Salty Sad said, Jesse said it himself and they featured it on the show. Yes, I say things to cause her pain or to get a rise out of her. Yes, I'm willing and do use our daughter as a pawn in this to control. I'm desperately trying to exercise over you as you resort to legal action to end my impact and involvement in your life. Yes, I'll say we need to have a conversation about X to prevent her from getting Y, not because it's better for our daughter, but because I said it myself. I will say or do whatever it takes to be a negative, emotional, or logistical obstacle in my life, in her life. Heavy sigh. And I didn't remember that he said, I mean, that's obviously not an exact quote, but I didn't remember that he had said stuff like that earlier on in the season. Lee Armstrong said, I was married for 17 years and my ex-husband did not come to my mom's funeral. My mom adored him and we have 3 kids. I spoke at her service and my kids sat with my brother. People can be really shitty. And I think we forget that because when we're watching these shows, we're like, I think I may have even said this on the show once. I was obsessed with Bernie Madoff when that happened because that to me is like the definition of a sociopath. How most people are like, oh, I would throw myself in front of a bullet to save my kids' lives. But he knowingly put his children in harm's way with everything that he did. And so I was just fascinated with reading everything, watching everything. And I remember there was a guy who was going to be like, get top billing for a Ponzi scheme for this story. And then Bernie Madoff was like, hold my beer, bro. And so they did a documentary on this guy. And since I had watched everything on Bernie, Netflix is like, you might like this too. So turns out I did.
Yeah.
And anyway, they asked him the question. They said, everybody just at home wants to know, like, how could you do this? This is such deplorable behavior. And he goes, yeah, because everybody thinks, oh, I would never do that. I would never cross that line. But the truth is the line is presented to so few people that you don't actually know how you would behave until you're in the situation. And I think that we sometimes, like, we're sitting at home on our couch, the camera's not in our face, or we're not in the middle of a divorce or whatever. And so we don't always maybe put ourselves in their shoes. And I think this is a perfect example of it. It's like, no, how could you be that horrible of a person to not to out and out just say no? But it's like, no, this, man was married to Lee for 17 years and was just like, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lynn Bendy said, it's pretty amusing that in Janet's effort to bring Nia's husband down, she actually brought her own husband down. And I never thought of that. And that was hilarious.
God, I love that. I love that he's going to have moments where he's just like, why are people throwing eggs at me? Like I've
look to the left, buddy.
Yeah. Like I've always been the guy. Like everybody, like I'm a no problem guy. I've always been the no problem guy in my group, in my town, at my job. Like, oh, everyone likes Danny. He's a no nothing guy.
No problem guy.
Yeah.
Laura Cavers said, maybe you guys should get an agree to disagree bell. Here's how it works. When any of you 3 identifies that y'all are circling the drain on a topic, they ring the bell. They can ring the bell. Each person gets the floor to explain their opinion for a certain amount of time, and then y'all move on. I love this idea.
You would never stop ringing the bell.
I would
It'd be
never
3
ring it though. You'd be the only
3
one
hours
ringing
of
it.
me just fucking bang, bang, bang. No.
Okay, Julie Brown said, wow, I enjoyed the drama between you three on this show more than I did on The Valley. I like how you guys contextualize Danny through your experiences in LA working in the business. It's given me an understanding of how he probably thinks of this show after 20 years of being a working actor hustling to make it. I hadn't really thought about his reactions within that context before because I have no experiential touchstone for working actors, but you made a lot of sense saying that this show is actually a big break for him. Finally, yes, I agree Danny should stop drinking on the show. Thanks for a great show, and I hope Mike is doing better. He is.
Much better. Mike was always doing great. Mark, on the other hand.
Yeah, exactly. Mark wasn't.
Yeah.
But I also, those comments always really touch me because I think I forget sometimes, like, one, how much work we've all put into this industry, and you almost take like you have like a lobotomy for this portion of your brain where you housed all of the rejections and the
It's the only way you
coming
can still
cloak.
go get up the next day and go do it again. You have to.
Fuck, even go do it again. It's the only way you can get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, period. Any normal person would be like, I need to be in a padded room for the rest of my life. So it's nice to know that people like to hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss MJ, he already said that they discussed Michelle's mom's illness in therapy. I forgot that. So anyway, just back to that conversation. Nettie said, never mind. There are discussions to be had. It's her grandma. Carve out time so the little girl can visit. Be cooperative about anything. Be cooperative. It's not just his daughter. It's hers too. And her mom has her kids in her best interest as well.
Just to add to that real quick, I know we're going on, but everybody likes the long ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that or if somebody, a lot of people were more of the comments of like, what's your problem, dude? To me were the Jesse Michelle grandma thing. And almost everybody, you're right. I don't really know what my issue was. I think, again, like I said to a lot of people, I think I was really just trying to figure out what story everyone believed, right? Not everyone, like what story we believed. Like, did he just flat out say no and he knew everything? Did he know she had cancer but didn't really know that it was like time to visit?
Yeah.
Did he, what were we trying to figure out? Like, again, one thing that I didn't realize was grandma. Like, being a grandma's boy, like, fuck it, grandma should get to see the kid. Not the kid, not you, it's great. It's about grandma.
Yeah.
So like that changed my whole vibe and made me like quadruple down on hating Jesse, because I'm like, oh, you deprived grandma.
This is how we know it's actually Mike and not Mark.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't have
Mark
to take
would
off
never
his
say
face or
something
anything.
like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So my apologies to everyone.
Okay, Meteor said, I find it very hard to give Jesse any grace when it comes to his interactions with Michelle. Me too. He is constantly committing premeditated trigger side. He knows how to press her buttons and can't resist when presented an opportunity to do so. That's why it's hard to give any credence to his, I didn't say no, I just said we have to have a mortality discussion. That also counters his, I didn't realize how sick she was. I do believe he would ultimately not block the visit. Same. I just think he absolutely could not resist fucking with her. And on the receiving end, it could be very well that Michelle got a yes, but, and in her mind with all the PTSD from him, it just took with all of the PTSD from him, just took that as a no. Mike is definitely happier covering Love Island, and I don't blame him.
That is a fact.
Yeah. And it's going to be great this week because things are cooking.
Oof.
Jen O'Toole, again, the award of the week for our commentos goes to Jen O'Toole.
And Shannon Fall.
Well, Shannon Fall's always.
Yeah, Shannon Fall
Yeah.
had some bangers this week.
Yeah.
All over, across the board.
That's true. Okay. It's tied. First, add me to party of Schwartz. He's a good Minnesota boy from the suburb next to me. I didn't remember he was from Minnesota. 2, can I make room for the party of Zach too? He's the #1 guy in the group. He was so great with the Crappens guys. Everybody loves Zach now. I'm so happy
I know.
for him.
Me too.
Finally, what I love about you guys is that you really see the humanity in these people and don't just view them as characters. I love to find the good in people that others might not see on the surface, and I'm always so proud when they power through the challenges and show their ability to grow. Divorced Schwartz plus Katie beats married S and K at Schwartz and Katie any day of the week. Thanks for being so good. that I wake up to Sunday mornings and go right to YouTube to see the recap is ready for me. Note to Mike, do what you have to do, but your perspective is valid. Sometimes the gravity of bad stuff can wear a person out. Take care of yourself. So sweet.
I gotta go. I want to walk off again. Start
So lovely.
falling like a little baby. Two baby outbursts in 1 week.
Well, this one's about me. Karen Ayers said the 43-year-old woman, that's me, should pitch playing Julia Roberts' baby sister in a movie. And I just want to let you know I have done that at every age in my life. And if there is anyone anywhere who is watching anything on the internet that can get this to her people, anyone who knows her and her people, let them know I'm available. And no one looks more like her than I do. So if they do a movie and someone else gets fucking cast as her sister, I'm going to pull a Mark and walk off in a real fucking bitch fest way.
We're all wondering about what our thing will be. What's my walk-off moment going to be? I can't wait to find out.
Trust me, it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need that.
Also, Courtney's not available Wednesdays and Friday nights.
This is true. Johnny smiles. Daddy's breaking up our podcast. It's just so good. It had to be read. Okay. Okay. I swear I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. There were just a lot of really good comments about the Jesse shit. One from Carrie G. First of all, Isabella is too young to really understand death, which I didn't think about. But most importantly, why do they have to be together to talk to Isabella? Duh. I don't know how all three of us missed this. You are also the parent, Jesse. You could have had a conversation with her before she went or, whatever. Anyway, she's not going to understand it anyway. Not truly. Jesse was controlling the situation by trying to force Michelle to meet up with him. And then he'd probably throw in some jabs towards her after the mortality talk that Isabella won't understand anyway. There's no reason that they couldn't talk to her separately. Zero. Now, if Isabella was older, I'd say maybe being together as a united front would be helpful for Isabella. She could ask questions, etc. She's simply too young to truly wrap her mind around death. She won't process her grandmother's death for years, but it won't be until she is older. And the pain hits the hardest. Jesse will say things, especially to others, to make him seem nice and sensible. But if you're nice, you don't use your daughter as a negotiating chip to get your way. He's disgusting. Sorry, my mom was a master at this type of thing. I recognize when I see it, but it also still pisses me off. And that last part of it really hit me because I think like when I started sobbing about West and Sierra from Summer House, it's like when you see it so clearly because you've experienced it, it's just like that truth like comes through so loud and you have to just say what you gotta say. Miss MJ also said, so he didn't know grandma was ill and said no about his daughter visiting for a week. That's still effed up, which I think Mike likes also because it's you don't keep kids from grandma.
No. That's all grandma wanted ever in her whole life is to be grandma.
It's just to be grandma.
Yeah.
Shannon Fall said, I think Jason had a weird character shift a couple of episodes ago when Kristen let him ruminate on what the possible rumor about him was. Jason ran around scrambling, trying to figure out what it was because something he has done came to mind for Jason. Ever since then, Jason has been doing his utmost to point fingers at other people. I also feel Jason's unkind behavior isn't all the way genuine. He's doing it, but he looks tight and uncomfortable. So whatever, Jason must be bad. Listen, we've said this before. He's still doing the behavior, so it's a reflection of him. But I liked when you had said that there was just a shift a couple episodes ago. It's like he went down this path and it was the wrong one. There was a fork in the road and you went down the wrong prong.
Yeah.
But it was that time. It was right after the ring thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it right after the ring thing? I think it was maybe even before. I think it was Danny's drinking.
Right around the ring. Like the Danny drinking thing seemed still within Jason. The ring thing when he was like, I don't know. Well, like when the
ring didn't get dropped. Remember when they got burgers? I don't think the ring thing had gotten dropped. I think that was the episode, like when they were in Santa Barbara and he was drinking.
But Jason's switch.
Didn't it happen though the next episode with the burgers?
I don't know. Well, I think what Shannon is saying, and I agree, like his switch started when he found out there was something going. Somebody had said he didn't know what it was, and he was trying to be like he was a little too concerned about like, oh fuck, what is this thing?
Yep.
To be so innocent.
Joanna Greco said, everyone says and does stupid things when drunk, but they should be able to have fun amongst friends. However, Janet, Jason, and Jax aren't your friends. So he needs to drink less or not at all while with them because they're going to use every tiny thing he does against him. I believe the audience is smarter than Janet, Jason, and Jax, and we see right through this plot targeting Danny and Nia.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss, perfectly put.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all got to watch this. Me again, giving you some context on the show pushing this Danny is terrible narrative. In one of the articles about Trash being fired, he said something about, and this is what Natalie brought up earlier, about he had the Danny storyline on deck before they started shooting, which is one of my biggest pet peeves in reality TV. I get that you have to have things going on in your life, but don't have like a premeditated.
Yeah, don't whiteboard this dude's
Yeah,
life
come
like before
on.
the season even starts.
It's gross. And it
Yeah.
never plays. It never works. It never works.
Yeah.
We know that Janet and Jason are cape for trash. I don't know what that means. I think maybe like here for trash. I think it's a typo. He set up the storyline and then went on his little vacation. So Janet and Jason have been set on the storyline and are pushing that to take the heat off of trash. They're playing producer's pet, and the producer is Jeremiah, allegedly, who also is the one that set Sheena and Lala and on Ariana in season 11 of VPR. He clearly has issues with women and needs therapy, allegedly. Christmas Jones, we read that one. That was it. That's all I have.
Yeah. Is Shannon the one that brought up the fork in the road, like how things started to turn? Was that Shannon?
Yes, that was Shannon. Yes.
Okay. I just agree with her so much. When you get involved in a scene where these things are happening that nobody can connect the dots, like they don't make any sense with just the way that they were, like the dinner table scene. When you're watching that, you can't help but start thinking of things like what Shannon wrote about. So if you're going to be involved in a scene like that, just know that you're leaving conspiracy theorists like Shannon Fall and I to our own devices, which is deciding why you've become involved in something that you've never shown us any other pattern of, really. Like, we've never seen you act like such a cuck. It's very strange. And so we just don't like to be insulted. And so we start thinking of weird scenarios. And that one to me seems like the most likely one. He didn't start acting up until it started coming into the conversation, whether it was the first time we saw it on camera or it was just like, oh, that so-and-so and so-and-so were talking about this thing. Like, and it just makes so much sense to me. So now I've decided that you did something.
I was just going to say,
shitty.
it does beg the question then,
Yeah.
like, well, are you? I didn't think you were, but now you've made such a hullabaloo of all of this.
Yeah.
Like, did you do something, bro?
Yeah, because
tell us. We won't tell anyone.
Yeah, you've left us no choice. So you did this to yourself. And just always remember, he also, the way that Janet knows him at all is because Sheena banged him. So sometimes I wonder if Sheena and Janet and Jason had a threesome. That's where my head's at now. That's where it's at now. You did this to yourself, Jason. Sorry.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Jason and Sheena banged?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Anyway.
Like and subscribe. We're off to Next Gen
If
NYC.
we decide to even do it, we're going to talk about it right now. Is this show
Yeah.
worth going forward? I don't know.
Okay.
We got to get that one subscriber back.
Yeah. Or
We'll
lose
see.
another one.
Yeah.
Wait.
Serious.
Where's my remote control?
Bye.